no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 12 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top local stories happening now. Vice President J.D. Vance arrives in Atlanta for 2 appearances. He's downtown now where he's speaking to a Republican National Committee gathering. After that, he'll head to a manufacturing plant in Peachtree City. His movement this afternoon could impact your drive, so let's check in with Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Yeah, Austin, the good news is now that he's at destination number 1, everything is back open through the heart of downtown. Once he leaves there to head to Peachtree City, I would expect closures of 75, 85 southbound right around I-20 in the Grady Hospital curve, as well as I-20 trying to get onto the connector. I expect that to take it southbound back past the airport to hit I-85 southbound to head through Union City and Fairburn to get down to Peachtree City, and we'll be keeping an eye on those closures. Austin?
Thanks, Alex. The Vice President's expecting to speak at that manufacturing plant there in Peachtree City at 2 o'clock. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien is live there with more on what Vance will speak on.
Yeah, Austin, people started lining up outside of one of the buildings at the Alta Refrigeration Manufacturing Facility here in Peachtree City more than an hour ago to get inside ahead of this speech. I've seen several state lawmakers in line to get inside, and Congressman Buddy Carter, who's of course running for U.S. Senate, also just arrived a short time ago. During his remarks this afternoon, we expect the Vice President will highlight the tax cuts passed in the President's budget bill and the impact they're having on businesses and families. I just saw Congressman Andrew Clyde walk by here. The White House also says that Second Lady Usha Vance will hold a separate event at Cherokee Classical Academy in Canton. She'll be focusing on summer reading. Reporting live in Peachtree City, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll keep you updated throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. It is 81 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. Another partly cloudy day here in the metro. Some showers possible this afternoon and evening as well. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up at 12:05. One person's been arrested, but 2 more suspects are on the run after a burglary and shooting incident at Perimeter Mall.
Dunwoody police say the crooks hit the Request Boutique in the mall where they stole luxury handbags. As for their getaway,
when they came outside, they saw that the mall security vehicle, unoccupied, jumped in it, stole it, and started to leave the scene.
Sergeant Michael Cheek says Dunwoody police confronted the suspects near the mall.
Suspects intentionally drove their vehicle towards our officers, to which our officers fired rounds at the vehicle.
He says the car eventually crashed. One of the suspects is in custody and being treated for a gunshot wound. 2 others fled. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
A 77-year-old man continues to recover after he's assaulted by someone inside his own home in Cobb County. Cobb County Police Officer Aaron Williams says the officer arrived home and was assaulted by the 29-year-old man with a piece of wood.
A search later confirmed that the suspect had already left the residence, and license plate recognition cameras showed that the suspects leaving the area prior to police arrival.
That suspect was arrested a short time later on Shallowford Road without incident. Police say the 2 did know each other. Fulton County Sheriff issues a statement after the County Commission approves a massive plan that would lead to repairs at the county jail. WSB's Veronica Waters reports live. Labatt isn't holding back his concern.
Is what Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt calls the vote, Austin, to spend $1 billion that would build a special purpose facility. He says it's equivalent to being in a burning building and voting to design a new fire station that will not open for 5 years. The sheriff says the jail was on the verge of being too small when it opened in 1989, requiring double bunking when it was designed for singles. Add to that what Labatt says are failing pipes, crumbling foundations, locks which don't work. And he says this vote indicates lawmakers are simply turning a blind eye and refusing to admit when they're wrong. He says the staff and the detainees at the jail are now being put in harm's way. Reporting live, Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Thanks, Veronica. This report is all new at noon. CDC officials give a behind-the-scenes look at the buildings targeted in the shooting attack earlier this month.
Eerily empty offices are cordoned off with yellow tape, and glass shards are still strewn across floors and other surfaces.
A lot of glass shards, small pieces of glass.
Jeff Williams oversees facilities and says the buildings were built with blast-resistant glass to meet new federal standards implemented after the bombing of the federal building in Oklahoma City. CDC Director Susan Menard Morris has only been in her role a few short weeks, but will represent the agency at the Friday service for slain officer David Rose.
I will be attending. It absolutely breaks my heart.
Many workers continue to work remotely for now. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
The DeKalb Animal Shelter sends out an urgent plea to help save nearly 20 dogs in danger of being euthanized. The shelter says it's out of space, and there are 19 dogs that need homes by 7 o'clock tonight. It's 12:04 now, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Got a brand new travel advisory in Marietta. Crash, 2 left lanes, 75 northbound before North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. Already stacked up back to Delk Road. Use Highway 41, Cobb Parkway, 75 southbound's not any fun. Out of Ackworth into Kennesaw with right lane construction. Passing Wade Green Road, exit 273. Again, Highway 41 gets you around that. And we got a crash in Gwinnett, 85 southbound past Highway 317, Lawrenceville, Swanee, exit 111. Jamming up the ride from I-985. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Now it's time for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
A mix of sun and clouds through this afternoon, hot and humid with a high of 91. Pop-up showers and thunderstorms through the ride home this evening. Some of these may be slow moving, producing some of those localized flash flooding events. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with off and on rain showers, high 84. Saturday and Sunday, mostly cloudy skies with rain showers moving through, highs in the low 80s. Drying out on Monday with partly cloudy skies, lower humidity, and a high of 85.
Right now it is 81 degrees in Kennesaw, also 81 degrees in Norcross, and 82 in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
America, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number 877-973-7425. I want to start with two completely unrelated stories that are actually very related. And yes, we're going to start. Half of you are going to care about one, half of you are going to care about the other. But they're the same story. Cracker Barrel and Target. Cracker Barrel has actually gotten rid of the cracker and his barrel from their logo. They've got a new logo that is a very weird generic. It's that ugly goldish honey color, I guess, syrupy, maple syrupy color. Just cracker. It's people are upset about it. Listen, I couldn't really care less about the logo. It's indicative of a larger problem, and it's a problem within portions of corporate America. And it's the same problem Target's had. The CEO of Target, who's been there for, I think, more than a decade, 12 years, is out. He's going to be the executive chairman of the board, coming under fire. There's a boycott at Target. A black reverend is urging a black boycott of Target. Target shares are fallen. Target sales are down. Traffic in Cracker Barrel stores are down, and it's all kind of the common denominator. You bring in a CEO who is progressive, who embraces progressivism and diversity, DEI stuff, and there's a backlash. And then when you walk it back, there's a backlash from the other side. And these guys should have learned, don't play politics to begin with. Let me start with Cracker Barrel. And for those who aren't familiar with it, it's mostly a Southern thing. My parents never liked Cracker Barrel, nor my in-laws, I believe. My sister, oldest sister, loves Cracker Barrel, or did. And the parental argument was always that, why am I going to eat at a restaurant that serves the food I cook at home? I can do it better. And they're not wrong. But the Cracker Barrel biscuits are bad. Their pancakes still good, but we stopped going. My kids used to love to go to Cracker Barrel because they started the nonstop breakfast, all day breakfast, and the kids could get pancakes and bacon. My wife could get catfish. They had this turkey sandwich, and it was slices of smoked turkey breast on sourdough bread, and I could either get the steak fries or the mac and cheese. And you know what? You can't get that sandwich anymore. The quality of the fish has gone down. The pancakes are still good, but they've changed the stores now. They've made the stores, they're sterile. They used to be folksy, like going to your grandparents' house, and they've gotten sterile. Their uniform, there used to be interesting knickknacks to look at on the wall. that were collecting dust. Not anymore. They had that little pyramid game with the golf tees in it. And if you get one down, you're a genius. If two, you're pretty smart. If it's three or more, you might be an idiot. They got rid of the insults on the pyramid now. It's if you can't get less than 3, it's don't feel bad, try again. They didn't want to insult, but that was part of it. You and your friends would sit around playing that game to see who was the smartest. And now, don't feel bad if you can't get less than 3. You're not an idiot anymore. No, you're still an idiot. They got some Poindextery glasses wearing female executive who looks like she has never eaten at a Cracker Barrel in her life to be the CEO. And this is the larger problem. A lot of companies are hiring white progressives who lack, and by the way, there is a whiteness issue here. There is a whiteness issue here. It is directly related to the race of these white progressives, and they're making changes because, one, they're ashamed of their clientele. I think at Cracker Barrel, some of the changes are the shame. They brought in alcohol now. You can go get drunk at Cracker Barrel, something that used to be very family friendly. You couldn't do that. Now you can. Go get drunk at Cracker Barrel and eat your sterile food. And by the way, the problem really with Cracker Barrel is the quality of the food has gone down. The food quality, even the same things that are on the menu now, like the quality of the fried catfish, the quality of other than the pancakes, everything is just not nearly as good. The service isn't as good. They used to bring you the biscuits and the cornbread like a Mexican restaurant would bring you chips and salsa. Now that they're slow to bring it out, it's just not as good an experience. The restaurants feel way more sterile, less friendly, more generic. It's not as good an experience. The food quality is not as good. The service is not as good. It's not the same restaurant because the good white progressive CEO is ashamed of Cracker Barrel's clientele, and that kind of is the dripping disdain that you get when you go to a Cracker Barrel now and you see the changes they've made, that, oh, we were embarrassed by the people who kept us profitable for so long. And it's like Target. You have a progressive white CEO who is, like the progressive white CEO of Target, overwhelmed with white guilt. We got to cater to everybody. And at Target, which has always been a more progressive entity than a Walmart or a Kmart or higher end, it basically is the Whole Foods of that space. They're catering to the progressives. They're just not doing it. They embraced DEI and they went overboard with DEI. They went overboard with DEI when it came to Pride Month, to the point they had the Satanist making the trans clothes for kids. It just doesn't work right. Target provoked a backlash. And the Target backlash goes back further. The Target backlash goes back to when they decided to allow men and women's bathrooms. And there was a big backlash among moms who didn't want to take their kids to, particularly their daughters, to Target and have a man wander into the bathroom who was trans. That began the backlash with Target. Target decided to play up their progressive values. And there was a segment of the retail population that didn't no longer feel safe going to Target. And then once they excluded those people, they decided to replace them with more progressive people. And in so doing, they started bringing in the trans clothes for kids and Hyper Pride Month. You'd go to a Target in, Carrollton, Georgia, where my in-laws live. It's the first Target I ever went to. It's been there forever. But you go to that Target and there would be these massive pride displays. There may be 3 gay people in Carrollton, Georgia, more than that now, but at the time, hardly any gay people in Carrollton, Georgia, and yet you're confronted with the rainbows and the Pride Month displays. It just didn't fit. And a lot of people were, for a very long time, willing to say, you know what? Okay, it's Pride Month. I get it. This is now the secular religion. Christians have Christmas. Secularists have Pride Month. We get 12 days of Christmas, they get a whole month, and then they get Trans Month, and then they get Trans Week, and then they get National Coming Out Week. It's very, very ecclesiologically organized, secular holiday system. But you're like, okay. But it kind of crossed a line when they had a British Satanist do trans clothes for kids, tucking clothing for boys who wanted to become girls. And that was that a lot of people were like, you know what, that's it. This is nuts. I'm not going to shop here anymore. So then Target, one of the other things Target had done is they had catered to black businesses. And they were highlighting things from black businesses because, again, white guilt. They wanted to play up all their progressive values. And so then when Target walked away from DEI, they overcorrected there. It's like, it wasn't just we're going to get rid of the tucking clothes for kids and the trans clothes for kids and we're going to downplay pride. We're going to get rid of all the stuff that we had been helping small black businesses do as well. And that provoked a backlash. It was the most tone-deaf, stupid thing. I'm sure there's a white person somewhere who was upset with Target promoting black small businesses. But I don't know them. In fact, I will tell you, my wife loves Target. And the pride clothing from the Satanist was a line for my wife. And she's like, I'm not shopping during the month of June at Target. I'm done. But my wife appreciated that they were helping small businesses, particularly in the black community. And my wife found a number of products that she liked. And then when Target swung wildly back away from DEI, they didn't just get rid of the trans clothing. They didn't just get rid of pride clothing. They started hurting these small black businesses as well, and that provoked a backlash. And even my wife's like, this is kind of dumb. From one swing to the other, do they not know who they can elevate or not? They have no sense of it, and it's white guilt is what it is. Really, that's the way I've always interpreted this: is white guilt. They're ashamed of who they are. They're ashamed of their most prominent customer base, upper income white people. Cracker Barrel is ashamed of the middle class white people who like to come in on a Sunday afternoon after church, and they decided they all needed to rebrand for other people. And it's what happens when you put these people who are guided by ideology and not business sense in these positions where there's a sense of shame creeping in. You know, it's notable on the Cracker Barrel thing. They decided to change their logo. They got rid of the white guy in the barrel, the cracker and the barrel. They're gone. And you know where the Target CEO or the Cracker Barrel CEO announced it? On Good Morning America. Who in Cracker Barrel's demographic of people is watching Good Morning America? Because I got to tell you, the Cracker Barrel demo, they're my people. They're the people who typically are at the Waffle House, and when they want to go country come to town, they go to Cracker Barrel. Or if you got an S&S or a Piccadilly, maybe they'll go to one of those places. But Cracker Barrel is high eating for the people who normally eat at Waffle House, and that's your Cracker Barrel demographic right there. It is Southern people, black and white. It's probably the most racially diverse restaurant you'll ever eat in outside of Waffle House. And they want home cooking. They're not watching Good Morning America. They might be watching Fox and Friends. More likely than not, they're watching Fox and Friends. If you text Eric to 33777, the top link is to our show notes email. And if you click through and go to the show notes, you'll see the new logo. It is bland and generic. It is not creative. It lacks original thought. And that's part of the problem with progressivism these days is it's so iterative. It's not very creative. It's just not. There's a lot of shame in progressivism, and they want you to feel guilty, and they want you to feel bad. And they have these wild, moody swings because of their guilt and their shame, and we've seen it at Target, and we've seen it at Cracker Barrel. And what's the result? The share price is down. Shareholders are unhappy. Cracker Barrel shook up their menu. They made a big splash. They did a big ad campaign. They saw in-store sales and traffic go up, and it started going back down. People are less impressed now than they were. progressive white wokes are ruining business. Look at Jaguar. Remember, it's the same thing. You had the white woke progressive CEO who did the Benetton ad for Jaguar, all the multicolored, multiracial, intersexual, androgynous people, and they were going to go all electric. You know, that CEO has been ousted now. The whole management team that came up with it has been ousted. I don't know who they were targeting, but it wasn't people who want to buy a Jaguar. Time and time again, when the Fortune 500 and major businesses, and I think Target may be in there, but Cracker Barrel's not, but these major companies in the S&P 500, when they embrace their ideological slant and put their ideology, their progressive ideology, over everything else, they're alienating everyone. They're alienating to progressives. They're alienating to conservatives. They're alienating to everyone else. People just want good business sense. They want good management. And above all else, they want respect. And at the end of the day, progressivism shows deep disrespect for a whole lot of people. Progressivism is deeply disrespectful. Why? Because progressivism treats individuals as a class. And so they respect the class, but in respecting the class, they insult the individual because many individuals don't identify with the class that progressives identify them with. And the result is you get Cracker Barrel disrespecting its audience. You get Target disrespecting its audience. You get Jaguar disrespecting its audience. Because at the end of the day, what the progressive CEOs forget is they're not dealing with classes of people. They're dealing with people, not a class.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1220 Cool Day Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still working this crash in Marietta, 75 northbound before North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. Should be moving off to the right, but nonetheless, we're still seeing the brake lights back to Windy Hill. 75 southbound jammed in out of Ackworth into Kennesaw. Right lane construction below Wade Green Road. Use Highway 41 as an alternate. Traffic brought to you by YRefi.com. Is private student loan debt ruining your life? It doesn't have to. Just go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com and get your life back. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus Blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus Blitz
begins Monday, August 25th.
I am so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
Did you know that eating healthier and more delicious food is not only good for you, but affordable as well? Hi, it's Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. At the Bread Beckers store in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real, delicious bread loaded with fiber and nutrients from real whole grains. A healthy, delicious, and affordable solution for your family. Eating real bread will satisfy your hunger and greatly reduce the amount of food you need to eat. Plus, your improved health from eating real bread may even reduced the need for frequent doctor visits. That's what Real Bread did for our family. 2 doctor visits with 9 kids in 25 years. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of whole grains and real bread. So if you're struggling with bowel issues, high cholesterol, weight gain, warts, or kids who seem to be constantly sick, take the first steps to a healthier, more affordable life.
Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service.
Really?
Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/9/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
Avoid the stress of listing your home on the market and sell your home fast for all cash with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. I've served homeowners like you for nearly 30 years and have helped over 67,000 satisfied clients. And I know what matters most, a quick sale and maximum profit. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Taking the complicated and making it simple. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
Hello, America. It's Erick Erickson. The phone number 877-973-7425. There is some breaking news you need to know about. If you haven't got the push alert yet, the $500 million fraud penalty that the state of New York assessed on Donald Trump has been thrown out on appeal. So this was the case where he allegedly overinflated the values of his businesses that everybody does, and yet somehow this really was like even the banks were like, we had no loss here, we were not victims here. And yet Letitia James, the Attorney General, decided to pursue it anyway, and now the Court of Appeals in New York has thrown out they haven't thrown out the actual finding of fraud. They have thrown out the monetary penalty related to the fraud. So it actually is a $513 million win for Donald Trump in this particular case. Now, the other news you need to know about, I've been railing on Howard Lutnick's stupid idea that the U.S. government should take a 10% interest in Intel. There are Trump supporters who are just grasping at straws to make excuses that Intel's too big to fail. No, it's not. And when you say it's too big to fail, you allow the company to make bad decisions knowing that they'll be bailed out. And there should be no company that's too big to fail. And by the way, all you people who say that were up in arms when the government said that about GM back in the day and all the banks. Bernie Sanders has now come out and says this is a great idea. And Elizabeth Warren has come out in the last 2 hours and said, this was my idea. I proposed it first. So you're on the side of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders if you think the U.S. government should take a 10% interest in Intel in exchange for CHIPS Act funding. So you and the commies are all on the same side with Howard Lutnick. I hope Donald Trump rejects the idea. I hope he rejects it. It's terrible, terrible. You start feeding the Leviathan, you start hurting the private sector, and all this does is feed the Leviathan. you should take the Smart Money school from Old Glory Bank. It's completely free. You go to oldglorybank.com/smart, and you got lots of resources for you and your kids on managing money, making money, investing money, saving money, paying down debt. Resources are completely free. You can use it in a homeschool curriculum. You can just bring it up around the dinner table to teach your kids good skills. It is oldglorybank.com/smart. It's a great set of tools. And again, it's completely free. You do not have to have a bank account at Old Glory Bank to get this stuff. You just go to oldglorybank.com/smart. It is an entire package of materials for you to download and use to teach yourself or teach your kids. It's designed for teens, and it's very, very useful stuff to get them to start thinking about it. And then if you go to oldglorybank.com and you can get a custodial account for your kids, no fee checking, no fee savings account, and help them start learning how to bank and to save money and to invest. A free curriculum, oldglorybank.com/smart, designed for you and your kids. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. oldglorybank.com/smart.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 12:30. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top local story, the CDC is continuing to discuss next steps after the recent shooting attack at the CDC campus in Atlanta, leaving a DeKalb County police officer dead. Newly sworn-in Director Susan Monarez tells WSB she was frustrated and angry in the wake of the attack.
These amazing people that I had just met and I had started to work with and I had started to form these bonds with were sending me pictures of bullet holes in their windows.
A public memorial service will be held tomorrow for fallen officer David Rose. A suspect's in custody and 2 others are still wanted in a burglary and shooting at Perimeter Mall in Dunwoody. Dunwoody Police Sergeant Michael Cheeks says the suspects stole multiple high-end luxury handbags.
They entered the mall and then went into a store called Request Boutique. When they came outside, they saw that the mall security vehicle, unoccupied, jumped in it, stole it, and started to leave the scene.
They tried to get away in that car, eventually driving directly at officers during a short pursuit. Officers fired back at the suspects at that time, who later crashed and fled on foot. The suspect who was arrested is being treated for a gunshot wound. Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt says he's frustrated by the county commission's approval of a more than $1 billion plan to renovate the infamous Rice Street Jail, while also building a special mental and physical health building. In a statement, Labatt calls the move a political game of smoke and mirrors. He says recent actions from commissioners have put the sheriff's office and inmates both in harm's way. We have live team coverage of traffic and weather up next. It's 12:31.
Roaches are everywhere and just a part of life here in Georgia. Dave Baker here for Breda Pest Management, the experts that protect my home from those relentless roaches. Breda will protect the outside and inside of your home, and it's the roaches inside that you want gone. Have you seen roaches? Better call Breda. Make your home a crunch and squish-free zone. Breda Pest Management, they handle bugs and critters like roaches.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
The end of summer doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Your backyard can be your family's happy place all year long in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Shop our huge Labor Day sale with instant rebates up to $2,500 and special financing for 60 months. Hurry, offer ends September 3rd. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of brownspools.com.
When markets get rocky, the worst thing you can do is nothing. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president and founder of Nicholas Wealth Management. Times like these demand action and a plan you can trust. That's why we rely on our trademark Retire Ready Bucket strategy. This strategy is designed to place a percentage of your portfolio into lower risk, income producing income bucket, aiming to generate steady cash flow for the first 10 to 15 years of retirement. Meanwhile, your growth bucket is filled with dividend and growth stocks, which has time to recover when markets are going crazy. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a time to sit down with our team to review your plan. This strategy was crafted by experience. It's battle-tested, and it's how you aim to keep your retirement on track even when the markets are not. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we're prepared. Are you? Don't wait for the next headline to shake your confidence. Call Nicholas Wealth today, 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management. Retire ready.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Neither the information nor any opinion expressed is to be construed as solicitation to buy or sell a security or personalized investment, tax, or legal advice.
It's 12:34, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Better news in Marietta. Crash 75 northbound before North Marietta Parkway, exit 265. They got that off to the right. Some lingering delays, though, from 285 in the Truist Park region. 75 southbound, still pretty ugly between Ackworth and Kennesaw with that right lane construction near Wade Green Road, exit 273. Use Highway 41 Cobb Parkway. And the crash is cleared in Swanee, 85 southbound past Highway 317, exit 111. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon. Scattered pop-up showers and thunderstorms for the ride home. Today's high is 91, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, not as hot with a high of 84. Scattered rain showers for tomorrow afternoon. That'll continue into Saturday.
It's 85 in Conyers and 82 in Austell and Midtown. More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
By the way, I got an email that is actually worth sharing with you. Let me read this for you. What you're talking about with Cracker Barrel is exactly why I'm managing and working my way up at Waffle House for the rest of my career. All leadership starts from the single store level. Our company's employee owned. It's still run by the same family that founded the company, who also had to work from the single store level and move up step by step. These practices largely remove a lot of the progressive problems that plague a lot of other companies. He's not wrong. I realize Waffle House can sometimes be a joke for people, but it should be no joke. Waffle House is a legitimately great business to work for, to get your start in, and you can work your way up through management to the high ranks. And all the people involved in Waffle House have come up the ranks from Waffle House, and it's a genuinely great company that has been owned by the same family by and large. It's got a lot of the same team that's been there for historically a very long period of time. They are very focused on their employees, and it's just such a good group of people. And they build and they grow, and they build and they grow. So a perfect contrast to what's happening at Cracker Barrel right now. All right, to the phones we go. Paul, you're going to be up first. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Doing great, Eric. Doing fine. I just wanted to comment on that Intel 10% you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what you have to realize is on its face, it looks like a really bad idea, as was the CHIPS Act. But the CHIPS Act money was already approved. I think it was $8 or $10 billion for Intel alone. So once Trump realized that he couldn't claw the money back, they just literally said, hey, let's just convert it into some sort of percentage back to the people instead of just giving them the money. They were literally just going to give Taiwan Semiconductor and Intel this billions of dollars with no oversight, nothing. So I think this is going to be more of a one-off thing that you're going to see. It's not going to be something that they're going to be doing in the future. And it was just because they realized they couldn't claw the money back, so why not get a stake in Intel and also preserve the fact that we need, a foundry, a chip foundry in the States. And then you saw SoftBank came in and made a huge investment as well. So,
look, I understand what you're saying, but there's a problem with that, though, is that the CHIPS Act gave them the money without the string attached. So for Trump to come in and add a string that wasn't in the law, that's actually counter to both the intended purpose of the law, which I agree the CHIPS Act was a dumb idea to begin with, but adding that string. And the problem here is that we have the data. So when the government took over Fannie and Freddie in 2008, mortgages actually went up in cost There's been no innovation in the mortgage products since then.
Right.
The government is now in charge of the taxpayers. You and I are now liable for 84% of mortgages in the country. When the government took over General Motors, in addition to winding down some profitable sectors of General Motors, the government insisted that they do those battery-powered programs that General Motors is now losing money on. Every time the government gets involved with one of these companies, the companies have to make decisions to benefit the government, not necessarily to benefit the business. So
I totally agree. We do it really badly. So what do you make of Fannie and Freddie going public?
Oh, I think they need to.
Converting that into $60 billion for the USA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about, economic return.
Right, but so when they convert Fannie and Freddie, according to the plan as it's designed, the government's not going to be the shareholder anymore of Fannie and Freddie. It's going to be an IPO that Americans will buy in. They should have never come into the government. And my problem with Intel is that we continue, and it's Republicans and Democrats together, we continue to create these businesses that you and I then decide are too big to fail. We can't let them fail. And the process is that Intel, because of what it is and what it does, has been able to make very bad decisions internally as a company, knowing that the moral hazard will require the government to bail them out. If we go further down this road of the government taking these investment stakes in companies like Intel, there's no reason for Intel to change its business. And to be very clear here, at a very bottom line, basically, and by the way, Paul, thank you very much for the phone call. Intel missed the market on battery efficiency. Let me bring this around to you in a very real way. I'm going to take Apple because I'm a big Apple guy. Apple had for a number of years used Motorola RISC-based chips. Over time, they were getting hotter and hotter and hotter. They were very good chips for a while, but they began to have lots of problems, and Apple switched to Intel. Here's the problem with Intel. If you buy a laptop that has an Intel chip in it, the laptop's got to have massive heat sinks for the most powerful chips because they're very battery inefficient. And ARM-based chips came out. ARM essentially makes a chip that others can use and build off of. And Apple saw with the iPhone, for example, that it had a very battery efficient chip that it could use. And Apple started building its own chips based on the ARM architecture and kept prodding Intel. Ultimately, Apple's laptop line was held up and they could not produce more powerful laptops because the Intel chips were not battery efficient enough to be able to do what Apple wanted them to do. So Apple wound up ditching Intel for the chips that it was developing for the iPhone. And now Apple's chips are actually much faster than Intel's chips and use less power. And only after Apple decided to go in this direction did Intel realize, oops, we had a problem. Now contrast Intel to AMD. AMD makes the same processors that Intel makes by and large, and you can get a Windows machine that runs on an AMD chip or an Intel chip. AMD did not miss the boat. You and I talk about Intel a lot because Intel is this iconic brand, but AMD didn't miss the boat. AMD is not behind. AMD did not make the bad business decisions Intel made. So why are we bailing out Intel and putting it at a competitive advantage to AMD that did not make the same bad mistakes Intel did? The only reason is because of the name Intel, because you see its stickers junking up every laptop in America because they cut a deal if you put our sticker on it. So you think Intel is an indispensable brand because you see its sticker on your laptop, a billboard. One of the things Steve Jobs refused to do is put an Intel sticker on the Apple computers. AMD is as good, if not better, than Intel, but you don't see its stickers all over your machines. You don't see its stickers on the back of the phones that use the chips it developed, and so you don't think about that company. You think about Intel. It's entirely a branding exercise. The fact that Intel comes up as, oh, it's too big to fail, we can't do this. No. We got other manufacturers who do the same thing. It's just Intel has the iconic brand, the dum 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 at the end of a computer commercial and the like. It's all about Intel's branding, that you've connected it in your mind in a way you haven't connected these other companies, and that the government thinks it needs the 10% stake in Intel, which is a revision of the CHIPS Act without congressional approval, in and of itself, that's a problem. If you are justifying the government taking a 10% share, it would make the government the largest shareholder in Intel. Don't come complaining when President Pete Buttigieg or President AOC wants to do the same for the next company. Don't complain. You go down this road now without congressional approval. By the way, Fannie and Freddie and GM all had congressional approval. This doesn't. Don't come complaining when the government of the Democrats does this and then pushes those companies to be woke. That's what happened with GM. You know, Barack Obama, they took it over. It was an act of Congress. Barack Obama screwed the individual bondholders, a lot of them mom and pop investors, to benefit the United Auto Workers Union. And then he imposed DEI hiring requirements on GM. And then he demanded they start doing the Chevy Volt and battery-powered projects that haven't actually worked out for GM. That was what Barack Obama made them do. The government owns 60% of the company. At 10%, the U.S. government would be the largest shareholder of Intel. When Donald Trump goes away, if a Democrat gets elected, don't complain when they decide that Intel's got to have new diversity requirements, new woke stuff. Don't complain, because you know it's going to head that way. You start paving the ground now for that. Well, don't be upset when AOC, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, someone like that gets elected eventually and does it. There's no such thing as permanence in politics. The Democrats will one day win again. Ryan in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you're up next. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, how you doing, Eric?
Great. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I just thought it was very interesting, and this has always been on the tip of my brain, how you, when you're talking about Cracker Barrel and their lack of, and how boring it is now, and how they've pretty much killed the original idea, which was neat. It was kind of a knick-knack Americana. Right. You're sitting at in a farmhouse eating breakfast. And by the way, I never truly loved it that much. It was good, but the portions were kind of small. But I want to make the correlation that the people who've come up with all these woke ideas and DEI, they have no originality, and this also translates into with their politicians, with their lawmaking, their policymaking. There are no original ideas. I hear none coming from them, and I consider myself kind of an independent. I really don't. They're just corrective measures on the right's original ideas. These original ideas. So I thought that was very interesting that you said that, because I don't see any creativity. You see Newsom, trying to be Trump on with his podcast and everything, and be a tough guy and swear and all this stuff, and not that Trump swears that much, but you can just see them just trying to follow, and it's so cringeworthy and embarrassing.
It is. And yeah, look, there isn't a lot of original policy ideas coming from the left right now. One of my concerns, frankly, is that some of the new right are dredging up the economic policies of the left from the 1950s, which are also bad. But you see a lot more innovation on the right now in proposals. You see a lot more policy innovation at the state level. And the left, I'm afraid for them. And by the way, let me say this, Ryan, and everybody else listening. We actually need a healthy movement of progressives in the country. Just listen to me here.
Agree.
I believe in the free market, and in a free market, you need competition, because competition makes both sides better. Look at California Democrats. There's no real competition from the right. They've gotten very sclerotic. They're out of ideas. The state is in collapse. The Republicans need a healthy Democratic Party, because it forces the Republicans to stay on their A game, and the Democrats need a healthy Republican Party. And the Democrats convinced themselves the Republicans weren't a healthy party and no big deal, so they decided to allow themselves to atrophy in intellectual firepower. And, so as a matter of fact, Ryan, and by the way, I appreciate the phone call. I'm going to let you go there, but the left has now started this new publication called The Argument. Why? Why do they need a new intellectual publication? Because they decided that all their intellectual publications were no longer intellectual. And so they needed to resurrect ideas for the left. I mean, the left themselves are recognizing this problem. Republicans need a healthy Democratic Party, because otherwise we're going to get lazy on our side. Republicans need a healthy Democratic Party. Democrats got really lazy thinking Donald Trump was the end of the GOP, and it turns out Donald Trump was the resurrection of the GOP. And now the Democrats are devoid of ideas. What new policy ideas are coming out of the left? There really aren't any. It's just repackaged communism, and almost everything they do now is a reaction to Donald Trump. It's not a new idea, it's a reaction. When the Democrats are going to win again is when they're going to find someone who articulates a new vision, not their old repackaged vision. When they get that guy, they're going to be a formidable force, and I don't think they're there yet. Americans for Prosperity is selling a real vision of this country based on the freedom of the Founding Fathers and that they advocated for. They're taking asking you to do a 250,000-step challenge for our 250th birthday as a nation. You can get involved at afpvolunteer.com. You go remember what makes this country special, our freedoms, and you commit in your community to take one step for freedom. And if 250,000 people do it as well, 249,999 other people, we've all taken a positive step for freedom, and it helps us all. You go to afpvolunteer.com, afpvolunteer.com. You sign up with Americans for Prosperity today. They advocate common sense conservative reforms around the country. They're very committed to reminding people about our founding freedoms in this country as we have headed towards our 250th anniversary. Sign up today, afpvolunteer.com.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Erick Erickson Show.
1250 Cool-Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Red alert in effect downtown. 75-85 southbound shut down just south of North Avenue and William Street as the vice presidential motorcade will be making its way south toward Peachtree City. So that's also going to have I-20 East and West getting onto the connector closed. All the exits adjacent to 75-85 heading down to the airport. I'm already seeing the delays start to stack up on 285 westbound, the inner loop past Riverdale Road where that motorcade will pass through. So plan your alternate routes. Traffic brought to you by True Natural Gas. They could report aliens have landed, but that wouldn't be true. Here's something that is true. True Natural Gas offers low rates and great customer service. Visit TrueNaturalGas.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. we will present the portfolio x-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well. And I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You may not agree with him, but he tells you the truth. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Greetings, conversationalist. It's Eric Erickson. I got to give you an update on Loudoun County, Virginia. I told you the story in Loudoun County, Virginia. The 3 boys were videotaped in their locker room near the bathroom. A girl who identifies now as a boy videotaped the 3 boys upset that a girl was in their locker room. The boys are being investigated for Title IX violations for harassing the girl. They weren't actually talking to the girl. They were talking to each other, loudly complaining about the girl. The girl videotaped them inside the locker room in violation of school policy. Nothing's happening to the girl. The school system in Loudoun County, Virginia, has suspended 2 of the 3 boys who were involved. Any guesses on why the 3rd boy, who was involved in the conversations and caught on the girl's video, why he wasn't suspended? This is how progressively demented the Loudoun County school system is. He's Muslim. The 3rd boy's Muslim. They didn't want to suspend a Muslim student because his concerns were of religious conviction. So the Muslim student's parents showed up at the school board with the other 2 boys' parents who were white and raised holy hell at the school board that not only are they harassing boys by allowing a girl in the locker room, but they're clearly so polluted in their mind-numbed woke thinking that they're treating their son differently from other students based on his religion. Good for these parents, by the way. Good for the Muslim parents. They're having none of it. Would not cut the school board slide. This is wild. Winsome Sears, who is the Republican gubernatorial candidate up there, had been massively outmatched by the Democrat up there, and she's suddenly drawn to about 3% in the polls, about a 3% gap. And it's the school issue. Remember, Terry McAuliffe lost in Virginia because of his dismissive concerns of parents and education out of where? Loudoun County. And that school system continues to be the gift that keeps on giving for the GOP. And if Republicans are able to win in Virginia, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general in Virginia, it's going to be over the school system in Northern Virginia that continues to just out-woke everybody. It is wild to see this thing happening up there. They literally suspended 2 of the 3 boys and didn't suspend the 3rd because he's Muslim. That's just nuts. Okay, when we come back, more of your phone calls, 877-973-7425. But first, the president yesterday tweeted about cleaning up the Smithsonian museums. And one of the things he said was that they talk too much about slavery. It's not just the progressive activists who are upset. Reporters, I knew were going to seize on the one line he wrote about slavery in his tweet, but he's not actually wrong. Have you been to a Smithsonian museum? There's a whole lot of what this country did bad, not a whole lot anymore about what this country did good. There's a whole lot of efforts to force diversity in so that you downplay the major actors of the country and elevate the minor voices who actually didn't play as big a role, and they amplify the role of these people to make it more diverse. The whole thing is nuts. and he's cracking down on it. And it's reporters, not just activists, it's reporters who are just furious with the president for forcing the Smithsonian to de-woke. Museums are one of the last refuges of progressive activists these days, and the president, thank God, is coming for them too, because he needs to.
Get the WSB radio app.
This story is breaking right now.
Get notifications from your source for news.
If you have the WSB radio app, then you saw the breaking news.
Get the WSB radio app.
Don't miss a thing with the WSB app.
Download it from the App Store today.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780. Don't wait. Call now. 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 1 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top local stories happening right now. Vice President J.D. Vance finishing up in downtown Atlanta after speaking at a Republican National Committee gathering. He will now head to Peachtree City for an appearance at a manufacturing plant there. He's expected to discuss taxes and the economy. Alex Williams has been watching the closures throughout the afternoon in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. What should drivers know, Alex?
Yeah, if you're stuck through downtown and Midtown on 75-85 southbound, hang in there because they just reopened 75-85 south around Freedom Parkway. That means I-20 both east and west ramping to the downtown connector. Exit 57 there in the heart of the city will reopen. Just off the phone, though, with traffic trooper Tanya. She says the closure is in place down by the airport where I-285 cannot access I-85 southbound heading toward Union City, Fairburn, and Peachtree City for that motorcade. So maybe Highway 29 will save you some time. But again, these closures are just temporary. We're going to keep an eye on them, Austin.
Thank you, Alex. And right now it is 84 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. Another partly cloudy day today in the metro. We do have a chance of some showers this afternoon and heading into the evening. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. An elderly man's recovering after being beaten inside his home in Marietta.
The 77-year-old victim had returned to his house and found someone he knew inside. Suspect allegedly beat him with a piece of wood before fleeing. Cobb County police officer Aaron Wilson says the victim made it to the sidewalk along Sandy Plains Road where he was found bleeding from his head. Investigators used license plate readers to track down the attacker.
Around 2:14 a.m., officers located the 29-year-old suspect driving on Shalaford Road near the original scene.
That suspect's charged with aggravated assault, but investigators say more charges could be coming as they look into the incident. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
A New York appeals court rules the nearly $500 million judgment against President Trump's business was unconstitutional. That monetary judgment has now been thrown out. The ruling itself still stands, which finds the president's organization inflated the value of its assets. A tour of the CDC campus in Atlanta reveals the physical cleanup ahead as well as the mental healing still needed.
Jeff Williams is director of safety and security and points to numerous panels of damaged glass, but notes the blast-resistant design prevented a greater tragedy.
Small shards and fragments of glasses, what you won't see is large sections of glass.
Cassie Strawn is part of the CDC team and says everyone has rallied together to be a support network.
The CDC has offered a lot of expanded mental health services for employees. I think that we all just feel really supported right now.
6 buildings were impacted by gunfire. Many employees continue to work remotely during the cleanup. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
We have live team coverage of traffic and weather up next. It's 1:02.
Well, you finally spotted your termite guy strolling around your yard. Is he just getting his steps in, or is he actually doing something? Hey, it's Mark Aaron for the only termite protection I trust, Breda Pest Management. That guy walking around your yard is supposed to be checking bait stations placed about every 15 feet all around your house. But in reality, they often don't even know where your bait stations are. It's easy to find out if you're protected. Next time they finish walking around, ask them to show me the bait stations, please. They supposedly just checked. If they can't, time to switch to Breda. They offer complete liquid barrier, not base stations, plus early detection with advanced technology both inside and outside. And best of all, your termite rate is locked in for 10 years. I have the safety, security, and knowledge knowing Breda protects my home from termites. Breda, BREDA pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
The end of summer doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Your backyard can be your family's happy place all year long in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Shop our huge Labor Day sale with instant rebates up to $2,500 and special financing for 60 months. Hurry, offer ends September 3rd. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of Brown'sPools.com.
Avoid the stress of listing your home on the market and sell your home fast for all cash with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Don't worry about repainting your scuffed up walls or fixing your leaky faucet. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market, receive an all cash offer, and close in as little as 21 days. There are no showings, no open houses, and no costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate makes selling your home stress free. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Got a leaky pipe? Trouble with your AC? Ace Hardware Home Services is right around the corner with trusted pros to fix it. From plumbing to heating and cooling, we'll keep your home running smoothly all year long. Get help today at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
It's 1:05. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Focusing our attention on the south side Austin, where 285 southbound and 285 westbound, the inner and outer loops down there near Hartsfield Jackson are shut down temporarily for Vice President Vance's motorcade to make its way onto I-85 southbound for the trek down into Peachtree City. So plan your alternate routes like Highway 29 or just hang in there as lanes will reopen. Crash 285 southbound in Tucker past Chamblee Tucker Road, blocking at least one lane, causing delays back into Dorville and slowing 85 southbound out of Norcross. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon, high 91. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms with some locally heavy downpours through the evening hours.
Right now it's 85 degrees in Forest Park, 83 in Mableton, and 84 in Midtown. More news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across the nation. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. It was the most predictable thing. The moment I saw it, I knew. That's how predictable the press is. Donald Trump, and again, I'm saying tweet because it's a tweet. It's whatever his website, with Truth, whatever social, and now you got X. It's still their tweets. When I say he tweeted, you know what I mean. On social media, he put something up. And let me read this for you. The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. We're not going to allow this to happen, and I've instructed my attorneys to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done with colleges and universities where tremendous progress has been made. The country cannot be woke because woke is broke. We have the hottest country in the world, and we want people to talk about it, including our museums. The moment I saw that, I was like, I know what the media is going to do. They're going to seize on how bad slavery was. That 4-word segment in there. Oh, Donald Trump doesn't think slavery's bad, does he? In fact, to pick on my friend Jamie Dupree just a little bit, used to work with us here at my flagship station, is in Washington, D.C., longtime Capitol Hill reporter. Last night on social media, Jamie put out a tweet himself, and in doing so, he tweeted, let me see, where is it? He said, here it is. Is this what you voted for? Is this what you voted for? That Donald Trump would do this about slavery? And I replied, that's not why I voted for him, but it is an added bonus. It actually is an added bonus. And of course, people came after me, suggesting that me saying that meant that I didn't believe slavery was bad. Yep, your host, who often tries to tell you to empathize with other people, that somehow I did. Yeah, here it is, open mic from Jamie Dupree. If you voted for Trump, did you really vote for him to spend time changing the museum exhibits at the Smithsonian about slavery? No, but it's an added bonus, I said. Let me tell you, I knew exactly what Trump meant when he said this last night, or when he tweeted this, how bad slavery was. Let's be clear up front with the parameters. Slavery was terrible. In fact, American chattel slavery was one of the worst forms of slavery. There was slavery in the Roman Empire, and oftentimes it was debt slavery. It wasn't slavery, chattel American slavery like we think of. Slavery in the medieval period and in ancient Rome was actually more humane than what the American Southerners did to slaves. And there are people who have tried to revise it and claimed that, they were all in the family and it was just a few bad apples. No, it was bad. It was also typically African tribes selling the people they had captured into slavery. There was way more complicity, and it was also the white Christians who were the ones who led the effort to abolish slavery. In fact, New England states in the United States actually led the world in abolishing slavery. It was New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut that actually banned slavery before Great Britain did, and it was their banning of slavery that led William Wilberforce in Great Britain to lead the charge to ban slavery, and the British Empire finally sprung into action, and it was the British Empire that shut down the global slave trade. It was, to put it another way, a bunch of white people who shut down the slave trade. But you know what? Critical theory has broken the brains of a bunch of progressives, and you go to a lot of museums in the United States, and you'll be hard-pressed to find exhibits on any of the white people who played a role in the founding of this country, except for the presidents. They're the obvious ones. But there's been this desire, there's been this wild overcorrection without much balance. It's very much like we're seeing with like Cracker Barrel and Target and the wild progressive overcorrection there. There are non-white, non-male people who played a role in the founding of the United States. But if we're really honest about it, their role was not nearly as significant as the men who got together in Philadelphia and signed the Declaration of Independence or wrote the Constitution, all of whom were white men. To downplay the role of the white men doing something that actually was a good for humanity. I mean, just ask yourself, is the world better off with or without the United States? If your answer is without it, you're a broken person. The world is much better because of the United States. And our museum system, including the Smithsonian, in order to elevate diversity and highlight non-white men who were instrumental in the projects that led to the founding of this country and its governance for 200 plus years, decided we need to pick some random person whose biography we can amplify and exaggerate to show that non-white people were involved as well, which is all well and good. That's fine. But you know, we got now a National Museum of African American History on the Mall. And that museum, part of the Smithsonian, put out a pamphlet a couple of years ago on what was whiteness. And what they claimed whiteness was being accountable for your work. showing proof of your work, not just the answer, being on time, being responsible, having a sense of objectivity. All these things were signs of whiteness. No, it's not signs of whiteness. That's signs that you're a broken brain if you're producing that. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say something. Don't fall into the trap I'm laying for some of you mind-numbed automatons from Rio Linda. We have a museum of African American history now as part of the Smithsonian. Where is the museum on white people? Where is the National Museum of White American History? Your response is going to be, well, we have the Museum of African American History because all the other museums are about white history. We got the Museum of American History. That's the white museum. Except those museums have now overplayed diversity. They brought in the pictures of the paintings from Black Americans and Hispanic Americans and Native Americans. They brought in the information stuff, and so those museums themselves have tried to downplay the influence of the founders of this country who happen to be white because they wanted to elevate non-white voices. There's nothing wrong with that, except now you've got an explicit museum dedicated to African American history. So why not one dedicated to white history? And if you're going to say, well, all the other museums are, well, then they should reflect it. But they don't, because they've decided to downplay white contributions to American history. Nobody wants to find balance. And you'll remember that the National Museum of African American History actually refused to add Clarence Thomas to its exhibits at the express demands of Barack Obama because he didn't like Clarence Thomas. True story. So even the Museum of African American History is not the Museum of African American History. It's the Museum of African American History the left wants you to know about. Are you going to see Frederick Douglass and know that he was a Republican, or Martin Luther King Jr. that he was a Republican? Or that Harriet Tubman was a Republican? Are you going to learn any of that? Probably not. History's complicated. There are white and non-white people, men and women, who played a role. By the way, just men and women. No Z's and Z's, just men and women. But you go to the Smithsonian, you're going to find some Z's and Z's as well. It's one of the weird things about progressivism, too, in the amplification of diversity. Like every major, prominent figure in history who is long dead is now suddenly gay. Have you noticed that as well? Like they're all except the ones who explicitly were gay and not good people. Well, they're not gay. They actually were painted as gay. But all the other people who we don't know are gay, they're suddenly gay. It's this wild quest for very weird diversity qualification for everybody. As opposed to, here's this person who played a role in history. We don't care who he had sex with. Can't do that. In the name of diversity. And then one of the things that happened is the 1619 Project. Remember the 1619 Project, advocated by major prominent progressives, including the New York Times, by Nicole Hannah-Jones, a fabulist, it seems, made stuff up. Even prominent liberal historians said this is not true. She tried to make the case that the rise of the United States was all about the preservation of slavery. That's not actually true. In fact, American colonies banned slavery before we were a nation. Northern American colonies banned slavery. Ironically, there have actually been a number of studies, too, and this is where the weird thing is. So the left, because they're progressives, because they buy into Marxist ideology, believe that there is a value to labor. And so it was actually the left, not the right, that invented the idea that Southern American mercantilists had to use slavery to prop up their economy. We actually know from the economic studies of the time that the use of slaves actually hurt the GDP of Southern states. Did you know this? Wonder if you've learned this in school. Slavery is actually a net negative to a country's gross domestic product, but because the left believes that labor has value, they've had to impute the value of slavery to the Southern economy, but actually the northern states became more efficient because they banned slave labor. The free market actually in the northern states that was not subsidized by a class of slaves actually was more productive than the slaveholding class. Are you going to get that? No, probably not. Why? Because progressives have to make a big deal about the value of labor. They impute that to the slaves, and they have some wealthy southern plantations that actually were less wealthy than they could have been had they divested the slaves, but they were addicted to slavery, which was bad. But there's a lot more to the country than slavery, and that was Donald Trump's point. We are a nation of great depth and breadth. And making everything about race relations in the country and going out of their way to highlight non-white people at the expense of actually very prominent white people who played a role in the founding of the country. It's dumb. It's not actually accurate. You may not like that the founding of this country was predominantly by prominent white men, but guess what? It actually was. And the Smithsonian and other museums in the country are the last bastion of progressives trying to rewrite American history. They tried at the New York Times, and even progressive academics were like, wait, 1619 Project is a bridge too far even for me. This stuff isn't true. You don't hear about Nicole Hannah-Jones anymore. Remember, the New York Times was going to turn it into a curriculum, and it fell flat when even left-wing historians came out and said, what you're got in here isn't true stuff. The United States, slavery is our original sin. It is. And if you actually read the writings of the founders, they knew it. And the founders actually decided that it was better that we fight Great Britain and become an independent nation, and then we'll deal with slavery. They kicked the can down the road. Even people like Thomas Jefferson in their writings to others said, slavery has got to end. We can't say that we are all born equal and endowed by our Creator with these inalienable rights if we're excluding a class of mankind from that. We are hypocrites. We must deal with the slave issue. And they kept kicking the can down the road until the Civil War. But you wouldn't know that from these left-wing projects. You would think that our founders wanted this country as a bastion of slavery, which simply wasn't true. And you don't have to believe me because you can read them in their own words. I challenge you, go get the book, The Ideological Origins of the American Revolution. The historian Bernard Bailyn was so tired of this idea that this was a mercantilist, upper-middle-class revolution of business interests. He actually went back and he read the writings of the poor and the middle class because it was a very literate nation at the revolution. And guess what? He found out they all really believed this stuff. They all really believed slavery is bad, but we got to fight Great Britain first. We'll get to it later. And they never did. He's got their diary entries. He's got their letters to each other. But you wouldn't know that from the left because the left has tried to tell a history of the United States to discredit the American project. Because at the end of the day, so many of the people on the left, including those in charge of museums, have concluded the world would be better off without the United States. And history actually shows the United States continues to be the last best hope for mankind, and that's how Donald Trump wants our museums to reflect this country, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's true.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center, 285 southbound and 285 west getting around the airport. They're recovering nicely from the earlier closure for the vice presidential motorcade, so everything back open there. 85 southbound stacked in out of Norcross, getting onto 285 south due to a interloop crash on 285 southbound before past Chamblee Tucker Road that has since cleared. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on your favorite brands at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off Stonefield Organic Select Yogurts with Prime through August 26th. While supplies last, shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
This is Andy Harris,
president of Coosa Valley Credit Union, with a personal invitation for you to join our newest branches in Woodstock, Canton, or Dallas. We've been in business in Northwest Georgia for 70 years, and we're proud to now offer Kinder Banking to Cobb, Cherokee, and Paulding County, where you'll always speak to a real person. With 11 locations, Coosa Valley Credit Union is always local and nearby. Experience Kinder Banking and stop in a Coosa Valley Credit Union branch near you.
Finding trustworthy people to properly fix your septic system can seem hopeless. Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic. Don't give up hope, just read some of our 5-star reviews. Your neighbors know my trustworthy team will solve your septic problems on the spot.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic. Never a pump out charge with your repair. Get a free quote at scorpionsepticservices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com.
Dave Baker for Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Looking for a new truck and looking for a great deal? Simply go to beavertoyotacumming.com/Dave's Deals and save money on a new Toyota Tundra. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming is the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
Georgia Power is here for you with quick tips to help you save on your bill this summer. Change your HVAC filter and check vents for flow. Set your thermostat at 78 for max efficiency, but every degree closer helps. Because summer savings mean more to spend on what really matters. Visit georgiapower.com for more energy saving tips.
It's time to renovate your home and you've got designs in your head, but will they pass code? Hire Sketchhouse Architects before you call a builder to make sure your design is up to code and zoning compliant. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. We're going to make this easy to get your ideas on paper, and Sketchhouse will connect you with multiple builders to bid on your job through the Sketchhouse Builders Network. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. You know, my dad was on the air with WSB before I was born, and in all that time on talk radio, a couple of things have stayed true. It's a little hard to know who to trust, and things stay pretty unstable. Here's what's always been true. You can trust D. Geller & Son. 3 generations of Atlanta shoppers have. We've had Atlanta's best quality jewelry at the best value since 1939. The whole month of August, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on your next jewelry purchase at D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780. Don't wait. Call now. 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Want to be on the show? Come on, be on the show. Call Eric now at 877-973-7425.
Hello, how are you? It's Eric Erickson here, 877-973-7425. Jeff, you're going to be next today. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Eric, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Hi. Well, thank you again. Been a minute since I talked with you going back to the Fulton County elections in 2022. You're the only thing that got me through those 12-hour shifts. Anyway, I have a convert for you, by the way. My wife was a captive audience coming back from Michigan, and we listened to you both days, and she looked at me, and we pray for you and your wife every time you have to go.
Well, look, Jeff, I sure appreciate it. Now, we got about a minute here, so I need you to get to the point, though, but thank you.
Very quickly. The Cracker Barrel thing, I'm looking at it from a 70-year-old's perspective, and obviously we are a dying breed, figuratively and literally. But basically, the success of Cracker Barrel, from my opinion, is the nostalgia. because honestly, the food is really good, but it's generic like most restaurants like that, because most of them don't prepare it on site. It comes in and they set it up for delivery. But that's the thing that draws everybody, is looking back and seeing all the hand tools and all the equipment and stuff. It's a chance for folks to kind of go back and relive another time that's long been gone. So, and I honestly, since the food is kind of generic tasting, the new ones, I would never go back into one. So
yeah, and you know, by the way, you bring up that generic taste. It used to actually not be that way, but over time, to save money, more and more of the food has been essentially brought in, packaged, they heat it. But the biscuits used to be made in-house, things like that. And you know, Jeff, there's actually a New York Times story today that talks about this rebranding, and that one of the reasons for the rebranding was because the management decided Cracker Barrel was quote-unquote white-coated. And they didn't like that. Honestly, Cracker Barrel, in my experience, has been a while since I've been there, since all this, one of the most diverse groups of people eating you'd see. Now, I got to tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them, save $200, get them for less than $200 at EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK, the number 3, at EdenPureDeals.com. They're an air purifier. They're small. Keep it in your travel bag. I mean, I literally keep one in my travel bag. You can plug it up with a USB cord. You can plug it directly into the wall. EdenPureDeals.com is the website. The discount code is ERIC3. So they get rid of pollen, dust, pet dander. They kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses that go through the machine. But also, it generates ozone that gets into the air and wipes out odors, smoke odors, litter box odors, pet odors. No odor can stand up to it. You can get one for your upstairs, downstairs, basement, RV, travel bag, wherever you need it. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC, ERICK, followed by the number 3, ERIC3 at EdenPureDeals.com.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
The Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
We've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
It's 1:30. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Ben Hill Renovations. Our top local story, the head of the CDC says her heart still breaks in the wake of the recent shooting attack on the agency. Director Susan Menares tells WSB she believes the agency can still be a source of good.
I will do everything that I can to repair not just the physical damage, to add security layers, but to repair the trust the staff have, and I will be there for them through the duration of this healing process.
A memorial service will be held tomorrow for DeKalb County officer David Rose, killed in the line of duty while responding to that attack. The MARTA Police Department says it continues to focus on safety measures and security. MARTA Police Chief Scott Crayer stresses the department's changes in light of a recent shooting at the Hamilton E. Holmes station.
They are actively monitoring the police radios.
Crayer says there will be a 24-hour monitoring of rail stations going forward using a real-time crime center.
We don't work in a vacuum. We work in neighborhoods and communities throughout the region.
He also says there will be a large canine presence throughout Labor Day weekend. Police are investigating a possible active shooter at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. The university says the entire campus is on lockdown. Students and staff are being told not to move while facilities are searched by police. So far, no other details have been released. The former lead guitarist for Atlanta-based metal band Mastodon is dead after a motorcycle crash in the city. William Brent Hines was killed in a crash while riding a motorcycle at the intersection of Memorial Drive and Boulevard. He co-founded that band back in 2000, but departed earlier this year. It's 1:31. Live team coverage of traffic and weather next.
I'm thrilled with my Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass Windows. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, inviting you to North Georgia Replacement Windows' brand new Alpharetta showroom. I was blown away. Bring your window and door project to life here. See the fiberglass difference in person. Your stress-free experience includes a quick, accurate proposal, no pressure. Window and door shopping made simple.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Hi, I'm Trisha, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you, your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Are you looking for a style that's classic, modern, vintage, or something in between? Not sure? At Shane Company, we're here to help. We have so much style under one roof because a friend knows you like options. Drop by or visit us at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual Imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
It's 1:34, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Not a fun afternoon northwest of town, Austin. Looks like another crash, 75 northbound. This one right around 575, exit 268, slow in the ride through Marietta. Southbound still stacked in out of Ackworth into Kennesaw with that right lane construction around Wade Green Road. You can use Highway 41 as an alternate. And 85 south out of Norcross in recovery mode, trying to get onto 285 southward. Earlier crash is cleared below Chamblee Tucker Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon, high 91. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms with some locally heavy downpours through the evening hours.
Right now it's 83 degrees in Sandy Springs, 82 in Decatur, and 83 in Midtown. More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings, conversationalists. It is Eric Erickson here across the nation. I'm broadcasting from my flagship station in Atlanta, Georgia today, where the Vice President of the United States is coming to mess up our traffic. In fact, let me pull this up right now for people listening. It's not actually terrible around here yet. He's going to Peachtree City, which is like the golf cart capital of the world. Peachtree City is a planned community, got golfers and all sorts of stuff down in south of Atlanta. It's a very nice community, and basically everybody works for Delta there, or they work for the FAA. You got a lot of Delta pilots who live there, but they've also got a refrigeration company down there where the vice president is going to highlight the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and its effects on the city and on the economy. And it's one thing Republicans are starting to realize they got to do. They got to start talking about the upside of the legislation, because it actually isn't a popular bit of legislation. And there actually are real concerns about its profitability, its whether it's busting the budget, whether people are getting benefits out of it, Medicaid, Medicare cuts, things like that. While all of this is going on, Gavin Newsom has decided to, do a Trump shtick. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has decided to begin randomly tweeting like he's Donald Trump. He blasted Cracker Barrel's logo. He's insulted people. He's doing it in all caps. He's trying to make a mockery of Donald Trump. And I look at it and I was like, this is, again, it's so iterative. It's not very original. He's just trying to ridicule people, Trump, who they're upset with Gavin Newsom. In fact, I had a reporter say, you don't understand what Gavin Newsom is doing. Gavin Newsom is highlighting the hypocrisy of people who let Trump get away with stuff that they're blasting Gavin Newsom for. And I didn't reply back, but I wanted to know, you don't understand. Like, Americans understand Donald Trump. They may not like it, but it's Donald Trump style. And Gavin Newsom trying to throw Trump style in people's faces, it doesn't actually work except for a hotbed of progressives. And everybody else is like, this is kind of dumb. Why is he pretending to be Donald Trump? But so much of American progressivism is devoid of originality these days. It's the best he's got. Texas is on the verge of redistricting. Now, let me tell you that the Texas thing is not a done deal, because here's what's going to happen more likely than not. The progressives are going to run to court in Austin, Texas, and they're going to find a federal judge who was appointed by Obama or Biden, if they can, and they're going to get a hold on the Texas redistricting. It'll get to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. That's going to say it's okay. It may get challenged all the way to the Supreme Court, potentially, but probably it's going to take a little while for the Texas to go into effect. But it's probably going to happen. So Gavin Newsom wants to rewrite the congressional districts in California. Republicans are like, you can't, because there's a constitutional amendment in place and you have to use the nonpartisan redistricting commission. That's not actually nonpartisan. What the Democratic argument in California is going to be, well, that only applies to decennial redistricting done at the beginning of every decade. This is mid-decade redistricting, so the commission doesn't apply to it. That's going to go to court in California. And the California Supreme Court, which is stacked full of progressives, is going to say, yep, that's right, this doesn't work. And then there's going to be a federal court case about that, and California probably can win that case because, I mean, the California Attorney General is a progressive. He's not going to go defend the people of California or their Constitution. He's going to defend the redistricting. Do you realize, by the way, that so much of what we do in the United States now is all premised on people doing stuff, and in the background they're voicing, gosh, I hope the courts stop us. They're doing it hoping the courts stop them, and in this case, the courts aren't going to stop it. The courts are ultimately going to let Texas do what Texas does and California do what California does, respective of the law, because California progressives on the California Supreme Court are beholden to the progressive politicians, not the California Constitution. And there's a problem for the Democrats. They're taking the bait. When Texas redraws its districts, it may get a pickup of 5 seats in the House of Representatives. That's not enough to stop the wave of Democrats coming in. The odds are the party outside the White House does well in the midterms. We're seeing that people who support Donald Trump are low propensity voters. They don't show up in the midterms, and when they do, they vote at the top of the ticket. They don't go down the ticket. House races are further down the ticket. A lot of people, like, look at Mike Rogers up in Michigan. Donald Trump won Michigan in 2024. People who are Trump voters, they voted for Trump, and then they walked out. They only voted for Trump. They didn't vote for Rogers. He lost by 19,000 votes because 19,000 Trump voters only went in to vote for Trump and no one else, and they're not coming in 2024 or 2026 because Trump's not on the ballot. So the party outside the White House tends to do good in the midterm elections. If the Republicans redraw Texas, which they're intending to do to pick up 5 additional seats, that's not going to be enough to stop the wave of Democrats. And now here comes California. They're going to redraw their seats and possibly pick up 5 Democratic seats, and that's going to be net zero. But here's the beauty of the system. It's a trap. It's a trap. See, Republicans are trying to get Ohio and Indiana and Missouri to draw new lines. Indiana, Ohio, and Missouri have not been interested in drawing new lines. So it was all going to be a wash. Texas would gain 5 Republican seats. California would gain 5 Democrat seats. We could go battle it out in the midterms. But the California ramming this through the way they're doing it, ignoring their constitution and all, You've got Republicans now saying California doesn't care about their own laws. California doesn't even care about their Constitution. Their Supreme Court doesn't care about the Constitution. This is unjust. We're going to respond. And so now what California is doing, I mean, if Texas added just 5 seats, the Democratic wave that's probably going to be pronounced in the midterm elections just because of the nature of the midterms is going to wash those out too. The Democrats still take back the House. Now, suddenly, because of California's behavior, because of Gavin Newsom's behavior, Missouri is going to rewrite it. So Missouri just unveiled their new map. There will only be 2 Democratic seats in Missouri. Indiana has said it doesn't want to redistrict, but if California redistricts, it will redistrict. Ohio has said the same thing. There's really not a desire to redistrict Ohio. And suddenly with California going to the road, Ohio suddenly is like, we may redistrict as well. And you know what's going to happen? That's going to inspire New York to get involved. But New York can only go so far. Illinois really can't rewrite its maps to get rid of their Republicans as much as they want. Most of the outside analysts are like, the Republicans are going to win this thing. All because Gavin Newsom took the bait. He can't help himself. Newsom wants to run for president in 2028. That's why he's doing the Trump shtick online, trying to rub people's nose in Trump's behaviors and stuff like that, and the left is buying it. Now, I got to tell you, I talked to a Democratic strategist last night who was telling me that nobody likes Newsom. That's something that you don't understand because you see your progressives online like, oh, yeah, he fights, but actually they don't like him. The strategists don't like him. The other governors don't like him. The elected officials, they don't like Gavin Newsom. They think he's a pretentious, ick-day, to use the big Latin. They don't care for Gavin Newsom. But Newsom is trying to get a leg up. Now, this Democratic strategist I was talking to last night says actually what's going to happen is that Newsom's going to flame out. Newsom is going to fly too close to the sun. He's going to be burned out. He's going to be yesterday's news. He's not going to be able to consolidate support because Democrats don't particularly like him outside of a level of activists in the base. The donors don't like him. The politicians don't like him. They're looking for someone who can build bridges. They think Newsom in California is too liberal. He's going to alienate people. And so just let him get it out of the system right now. But what's going to happen is Newsom is also going to bear the blame for Democratic losses in November in the midterms next year, where the Democrats have a chance to win Congress. But by pushing through redistricting, ignoring California's Constitution, getting the Supreme Court of California to ignore California's Constitution, he's going to incite these Republican states to start doing their redistricting, and they're going to get an advantage in the redistricting process. All because Newsom wanted to be seen as fighting. All because Newsom decided if they do it, we're going to do it. We're going to show we fight. I fight. I'm running for president, and I want to show I'm a fighter. God bless you, man. You have taken the bait, and you are now going to get these Republicans who have sat on the sidelines and said they weren't going to do it. Now they're going to do it. It's, Donald Trump's superpower is this. At the end of the day, Donald Trump's singular superpower is this. Donald Trump gets other people to behave in ways they say he behaves. Whether you think Donald Trump is an authoritarian or not, he gets Democrats to behave in authoritarian ways. Just think about this. The California Constitution says that redistricting is done by a nonpartisan commission. And it's not a nonpartisan commission. What they did is they had a bunch of Democrats declare themselves independents, and they put them on. One of the Republicans on the California Redistricting Commission is a major Democratic donor. But they have the veneer of it, and it's that commission that's supposed to redo the districts. And now the Supreme Court in California has told Republicans they don't have a leg to stand on to even fight the redistricting. Donald Trump and his team have gotten the Democrats to behave in the way they claim Donald Trump behaves. And in the process, that's going to inspire these other Republicans to start their redistricting process. And the best Newsom has is the memes against J.D. Vance. I mentioned this yesterday. It's kind of weird. He's got his social media team putting up pictures of J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom at the same age. And J.D. Vance was a goofy-looking guy in high school, and Gavin Newsom looked like the high school sexual predator that is the bad guy in all the 1980s and early 90s movies. And eventually, though, Gavin Newsom went off to do whatever Gavin Newsom did, and J.D. Vance went off to be a Marine and to fight for his country. He was willing to lay down his life for his country. Newsom was just willing to lay down in bed with the hotties. He tried, in fact, he was in his 30s, like dating like a 19, 20-year-old or something like that when he was in San Francisco. J.D. Vance was all fighting for his country. They're taking the bait. They're taking the bait in a way that's going to get Republicans to engage in a redistricting fight they didn't want to engage in, and the Republicans are going to draw more seats than the Democrats, and that's not me saying that. That's not the RNC saying that. That's the outside observers of this saying California going down the road. They could have just left Texas alone. They would still take the House, but by California doing what it's doing, it's going to incite these other Republican states to get engaged, and the Republicans, they're going to be able to draw more seats because the Democratic states are already so gerrymandered, it's impossible for them to gerrymander further. The Democrats have taken Donald Trump's bait yet again. Now, I want you to take Hillsdale College up on their offer to give you a great education on a topic you're interested in by going to ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. You'll be able to take a class from Hillsdale College. In fact, my son's an A-Push American, what is it, A-Push American, what is it? No, what is it? Accelerated A. It's the AP class. Yes, AP U.S. History, A-Push. And he's studying the Federalist Papers. Like, son, you need to listen to the Hillsdale College class on the Federalist Papers. You're going to learn a lot from that beyond what your professor teaches you or your high school teacher teaches you. It's great, and it's no charge. You get this great education on the Federalist Papers or on capitalism or on citizenship or on C.S. Lewis or on Shakespeare or on basic economics or chemistry or math at no charge to you. They're 30-minute videos. You walk through the class. Each lesson is 30 minutes. Some are 7 videos, some are 12, depending on the class. 30-minute videos. You do it at your own pace with some of Hillsdale's best faculty at no charge to you. Get a certificate of completion from Hillsdale College, and you learn. You learn about a topic you're interested in. It's your choice. 40 different topics. ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K. ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with Hillsdale College. They get smarter about something you're interested in at no cost to you with the Hillsdale College faculty at ericforhillsdale.com.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
150 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still watching the big jam on 75 north through Marietta from Delk Road up to 575 where there's a crash blocking at least one lane. Use the express lane from Peach Pass or Highway 41. 75 southbound still slow out of Ackworth into Kennesaw with right lane construction passing Wade Green Road exit 273. And downtown on and off the brakes southbound from 17th Street to I-20. Traffic brought to you by Blindster.com. Blindster.com is a family business making custom blinds, shades, and shutters. Give them a try and see why over 1 million windows have trusted Blindster. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
That's awesome. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Begins Monday, August 25th.
That's amazing.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
At the Original Mattress Factory, you'll often hear us say we can't fit our quality in a box. Our customers feel the same way. Here's what an actual OMF customer had to say.
I recently purchased a bed-in-a-box mattress and returned it a month later. I replaced it with a bed from the Original Mattress Factory, and I am beyond thrilled. Don't bother with any of the online mattress brands. Go to OMF and you'll be in great hands. My only regret is not going there sooner.
Come see our quality firsthand at the Original Mattress Factory.
Hey homeowners, it's Eric Erickson here. Do your windows and doors stick? Are you noticing cracks in the drywall or the brickwork? You might have a big problem. Serious issues need the serious experts at Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Their skills are unmatched, as are their foundation solutions. When these guys repair a problem, it's the last time you'll have to worry about it. Done once, done right. Start today with a free inspection. Go to ESOGrepair.com. That's ESOGrepair.com.
Dial 678 ESOG now.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual Imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Belinda Skelton here with Atlanta Vision Institute's very own Dr. Ashraf, who is one of the most experienced eye surgeons in the country. Dr. Ashraf, we've all watched the news and the economy is uncertain, but failing eyesight isn't. And if you've held back due to finances, we've got good news for you, don't we?
Yes, Belinda, as you know, our eyesights degrade as we age. And with the laser optics procedure, that resets all of that. And most of my patients go most of the day without glasses. They can even read their phone without glasses. And in terms of the economy, most of these patients, their medical insurance can cover most of the costs. And if it doesn't, we have a lot of good financing options for this procedure.
That's awesome, Dr. Ashraf. I urge you to take the quiz to see if you're a candidate. Go to 2020atlanta.com. That's 2020atlanta.com.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
As I mentioned, J.D. Vance is going to Peachtree City, Georgia today. The protesters are out in force. Several different listeners have sent me pictures of the protesters down there. It is the most lily-white crowd. It looks like they're leaving the Cracker Barrel, I guess, given what they think about Cracker Barrel. But here's the thing. The amount of unnatural hair color. It's like the local Starbuckses must all be closed. They must not have people able to work today because the baristas are all out protesting J.D. Vance. I mean, and also it's a lot of old white people. It's a lot of if they're young people there, they're clearly baristas given their unnatural hair color. Otherwise, it's like geriatrics. They've been let out of the nursing home to go protest J.D. Vance. There aren't a lot of Hispanic people protesting. There aren't a lot of black people protesting. It's what white people do. White progressives. They don't have to go to the Unitarian or the Episcopal Church on Sunday. They all showed up today for their fellowship operation and the UMC down there protesting JD. Y'all, it really has become this religious thing among the secular whites. We're going to go protest today. We're going to go get our signs out. They've gone to their they're protesting Target. They can't go to Target. They won't go to Walmart. Where do they go? They go to Whole Foods, I guess, and ask for the cardboard that they're going to recycle it after they finish it. So they've gone to Whole Foods. They've gotten their cardboard. They've gotten their organic carrot juice made markers to be able to do their organic homeopathic marker set. They've sprayed their essential oils, and now they're ready to go press J.D. Vance. They've got their sage brushes, and they've got their crystals out there to protest Vance down in Peachtree City. It's what the progressive whites do. And then afterwards, they'll go to Whole Foods for a chai latte or something. I don't understand. The progressive whites have too much time on their hand. Normal people are at work today. Normal people don't have time to go see J.D. Vance at the refrigerator place in Peachtree City. It's just the barista whites and the old progressive whites who've got to have something to protest to make them feel good. So when they go to the Episcopal and the Unitarian churches on Sunday, they don't have to tithe because they'll have given their time to the church instead of their money by standing out there with their Whole Foods organic cardboard protesting. People have too much time on their hands. I mean, how do you? I don't. By the way, there aren't a lot of Democrats down there, so they were probably bussed in too. A bunch of bussed-in whites. Now, isn't that funny? Nobody wants to sit on the back of the bus on the bussed-in whites when they go down to Peachtree City to protest J.D. Vance. Just wow. All right. We've had our fun with the protest whites down in Peachtree City. Things white people like to protest Republicans. By the way, how do I know that these people are not actually from Peachtree City? No golf carts. No golf carts. If you know anything about Peachtree City, Georgia, everyone. When I was in college, my roommate Brian, his family, I think, were the only people in Peachtree City that did not own a golf cart. Everybody in Peachtree City has a golf cart, and none of these white people down there protesting have golf carts with them. So clearly they've been bussed in by somebody. They rounded up the local baristas from the coffee houses. Anybody who had a Z-zer as their defined pronouns, they're like, hey, we got something for you. Let's get down there with the old white protesters. It's not going to help them. When we come back, we got to move on to other things from the white protesters to the Democrats now explicitly defying court orders. And the Democrats are cheering on the Democrats, defying the court orders. They're doing what they said Donald Trump would do, and yet now they're really, really happy about it being done.
WSB's looking for a home for Smidgen. Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News, and she is our dog of the month. With Paws Atlanta, we're looking for Smidgen's new family. Sweet brown and white mixed breed, about 2, great for older kids. Meet her at WSBRadio.com. Our sponsor, Findlay Roofing, will pay the adoption fee for you, too. WSBRadio.com/dog.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
You're ready for a new deck, but don't know where to start. You can DIY, use an unlicensed chuck in a truck, an overpriced luxury designer, or you can choose us. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors, and we do decks differently. We build beautiful, high-end decks at a reasonable price with lots of options. We're licensed and insured. We'll work with the materials you choose and stay within your budget. Call Nelson Exteriors for an extraordinary deck renovation. Google Nelson Exteriors.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. It is happening now. Vice President J.D. Vance in Metro Atlanta talking about taxes and the economy. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien is with the Vice President this afternoon and joins us live now from Peachtree City.
That's right, Bill. Moments ago, the Vice President took the stage here at the Alta Manufacturing Facility, Peachtree City, to a thunderous round of applause to the crowd, which has been here of them waiting for several hours to get inside. Now, over the past hour, we've heard speeches from all of the GOP Senate candidates, Derek Dooley, Congressman Buddy Carter, and Mike Collins. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who met Vance at the airport today, also spoke. Dozens of factory workers are surrounding Vance on stage ahead of this speech. They have been waiting for some time. There are large banners that say jobs, jobs, jobs. We expect the Vice President today, Bill, to focus on the tax cuts that were put forward in the big, beautiful bill that Congress just passed. And, of course, there, with all of the candidates here, there's a big undertone of the 2026 campaign. We'll let you know what the Vice President has to say. For now, reporting live in Peachtree Corners, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
And the WSB traffic team will keep you updated this afternoon on any road closures because of the Vice President's visit. It is 88 degrees in Atlanta. Scattered storms developing again through this afternoon. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. We get a closer look today at the cleanup ahead of the CDC after this month's shooting, as well as the mental health healing still needed.
Jeff Williams is Director of
of Safety and Security and points to numerous panels of damaged glass, but notes the blast-resistant design prevented a greater tragedy.
Small shards and fragments of glasses, what you won't see is large sections of glass.
Cassie Strawn is part of the CDC team and says everyone has rallied together to be a support network.
The CDC has offered a lot of expanded mental health services for employees. I think that we all just feel really supported right now.
6 buildings were impacted by gunfire. Many employees continue to work remotely during the cleanup. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Lawyers for a Spanish-speaking journalist who's been held in federal immigration detention in Georgia since June are asking a judge now to order his release. They argue the government is retaliating against Mario Guevara for his news coverage and are holding him against his constitutional rights. He was arrested during an immigration rally in DeKalb County in June. The charges were later dropped. Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt is not a fan of the $1.2 billion plan approved by commissioners to build a special purpose facility before renovating the Rice Street Jail. Labatt says it's the equivalent to being in a burning building and voting to design a new fire station that won't open for 5 years. It's 2:02. This news is sponsored by Brett Beckers.
You spotted your termite guy strolling your yard. Is he just getting his steps in? Does he even know where your bait stations are? Scott Slade here. Just ask them to show me the bait stations. If they can't, it's time to switch to Breda Pest Management with a complete liquid barrier, not bait stations, plus early detection both inside and out. And your termite rate is locked in for 10 years. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
At Coosa Valley Credit Union, we believe in kinder banking. That means speaking to a real person, a state-of-the-art website and mobile app, and kinder banking means offering our members the most competitive rates in the market. This is Andy Harris. Come see us at Coosa Valley Credit Union.
Right now, Beaver Toyota of Cumming is loaded with fresh inventory, and they're offering huge savings, low financing, and all the Beaver benefits. See them on the web at beavertoyotacumming.com. The Toyota Tundra from Beaver Toyota of Cumming, the official truck of the Home Fix-It Show.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Skip the hassle of constantly cleaning and costly repairs and sell your home completely stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Sean Hannity here. Now's a great time to sell your home in Atlanta as home values have continued to rise and your home may be worth more than you even realize. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and close within days. Find out what the guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com and you can start packing.
At 2:05, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. And a little bit better news in Marietta. That crash 75 northbound up around Highway 5, just north of Highway 5. Canton Road connector exit 267. In and out of that right lane, still causing some brake lights through Marietta, but they have improved a tad bit. We also have a crash in West Atlanta. It's in the right lane, 20 eastbound before Lowry Boulevard, exit 55. And checking on a new slow zone in Union City, 85 southbound, stacking up passing Flat Shoals, exit 66. We'll see what's cooking there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WUSB.
We'll be watching for the possibility of more scattered storms through this evening around the metro area. Right now it's 85 in Norcross, 83 in Mableton, 90 in College Park. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America, and I have to correct myself out of the gate. I said something that I have had several listeners email and say is not true, and I like to correct the record. If I'm wrong, I'm not afraid to admit it. And eyewitnesses tell me there actually are white protesters who have showed up to protest J.D. Vance, who they know are from Peachtree City because they showed up on golf carts. But overwhelmingly, I'm told that a lot of DeKalb County license plates and Fulton County license plates have showed up. Peachtree City is in Fayette County, Georgia. It is home to a lot of Delta pilots. It's a golf cart community. I mean, you can go everywhere on golf carts in Peachtree City. Literally, people go to their local grocery store on modified golf carts. They've got golf paths everywhere. They've even got dedicated bridges over roads for golf carts and pedestrians. And there have been some who showed up on golf carts to protest. But overwhelmingly, they all do say, a lot of cars pulled into the local Starbucks in the area, and they're from DeKalb County and Fulton County and Gwinnett County and Cobb County, a couple from Henry County, but it's all the progressive whites. They got nothing better to do with their time because, I mean, these are the people who are upset about the Medicaid reform. They've been living on their mom and dad's payroll. They've been getting Medicaid because they don't want to work, and they're upset that they're going to lose their health insurance because they got to get jobs and find health insurance elsewhere. The barista whites are out there really protesting J.D. Vance. Now, you know the barista whites. The barista whites are the heavyset girls with the nose piercings and the multicolored unnatural hair. The barista whites are out there really, and then you got the guys with all the piercings and stuff, and they all wear black goth, and they have the Zer pronouns, and they all work at the local coffee shop. The barista whites are the ones who are really out there protesting J.D. Vance today. Barista whites got nothing to do but make coffee. And I actually want the barista whites. We need the barista whites. I was in a coffee shop earlier today, and it was a girl. She had bangs, and the bangs were bleached white, and then everything behind was like this purplish pink, except her roots were starting to show, and she had dark hair. And she was making me, and she did a fantastic job with my coffee. She even did the little heart thing where, you know, they pour the milk on top for the espresso for the latte, and it makes a little heart. She did that for me. God, it makes me happy when the barista whites are out there showing me their artwork. And I don't know what her pronouns were. Her name was Alex. I don't know if that was her given name or her identified name, but Alex at the coffee shop, she's a good barista white. And she made good coffee. The barista whites know how to make coffee. It's about the only job talent they have besides showing up and protesting J.D. Vance. I don't think Alex was going to a protest, though. She was a good little worker at the coffee shop. It takes all kinds, people. It takes all kinds. The barista whites are needed to make us good coffee. Now, if you would just get out of the start, because Starbucks, let's be honest, Starbucks doesn't have good coffee. People go to Starbucks because they want dessert in the form of a liquid, and that's not me. I want cake or cookies or pie. I don't want coffee on ice. Y'all, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insulting, and I'm going to try not to be insulting. I got some crazy Ukrainian guy coming after me in my emails right now thinking I was insulting him when I was just trying to politely explain something to him. And I just don't like the idea of iced coffee. I have tried it before. You say, you've never tried. No, I tried it, and I don't like it. I want hot coffee. I don't want coffee on ice. I like, give me, like, I don't know, ice cream. Give me a milkshake or something. I think the milkshake I make has about the same amount of calories as the iced coffee you people are getting from the Ugly Mermaid store. Give me hot coffee. Coffee should be hot. It should not be cold. And I know some of you disagree with me. I can't help that many of you are wrong, but coffee should be hot and should be served by a Zer barista white with pink hair. That's the best coffee, unless I get it from my Jura from home where I just push the button, and I've got my barista white is actually a robot machine that I push a little button, and somewhere inside this little Jura coffee machine is some barista white with purple hair grinding my coffee beans and heating up the temperature exactly what I want and letting it steep exactly the temperature I want for exactly the time that I want. We got to have barista whites. Okay, we got to move on from the barista whites to the other white progressives. One of the things that the Democrats have said was a guarantee was that Donald Trump was going to defy the courts, and it would be a threat to democracy because everything is a threat to democracy unless it benefits the Democrats. I mean, you understand this, that threat to democracy, that phrase means it might hurt the Democrats. And Donald Trump defying courts would be a threat to democracy. They never say threat to the republic because it's never a threat to the country. It's just a threat to the Democrats. But we've heard Donald Trump was going to defy the courts. The courts would give Donald Trump an order and he would refuse to comply with the order. Thus far, Donald Trump has not refused to comply with the courts. He certainly dragged his feet in the case of the illegal alien from Maryland, bringing him back from El Salvador. Took him a while to get here, but he didn't defy the courts. They brought him back. Fulton County, Georgia, is just north of Fayette County, where J.D. Vance is. J.D. Vance will fly into Hartsfield-Jackson, Two Dead Mares International Airport, and drive south. Fulton County is Atlanta, Georgia. And Fulton County was a hotbed of electoral intrigue in 2020. The Republicans in Georgia changed the laws nationwide. All eyes were on Fulton County. And here's something you got to understand is that Fulton County, Georgia has historically, going back to before I even moved to this state in the 90s, horrible at counting votes. They actually did, the Republicans and Democrats together, to their credit, it was mostly forced by the Republicans, but the Democrats went along with it. They actually forced reforms on the Fulton County Board of Education, or of Elections. And in 2024, Fulton County was actually efficiently able to count the vote. For the first time in the history of the world, Fulton County actually efficiently counted votes. There were still problems, but everybody was kind of shocked that somehow Fulton County learned how to count the votes. The rules for state boards of election in Georgia are very simple. The Democrats get to pick people and the Republicans get to pick people to form the Board of Elections. Now, if you're a Democratic county, the Democrats get to pick the chair, and if you're a Republican county, the Republicans get to pick the chair. But normally you got 2 Democrats, you get 2 Republicans, and then they appoint a chair. The chair tends to be of the majority party of the Board of Commissions, but each party gets to pick members for the Board of Commissions. And the law in the state of Georgia says the Board of Commissioners shall seat the picks of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. There's no may, there's shall. And if you go to law school and you take statutory law, which typically you take your second semester, your first year of law school, if a law says shall, that means there's no discretion. Essentially, the Board of Commissioners is acting as a clerk. They have no discretion. If I come in and the law says you shall do something for me, you've got no choice in the matter. You have to do it. And the law in Georgia says the Board of Commissioners of each county shall seat the designees of each party on the Board of Elections. A number of Democrats on the Fulton County Commission said we're not going to seat the Republicans because they denied the 2020 election. We're not going to sit them on the Board of Elections. So Republicans sued. It went to court. And the court said this isn't a matter of discretion. It's not a matter of voting for your constituents' interest. This is a pro forma vote. You are required by the law to put these people on the Board of Elections. You don't have a choice. The law says shall. There are times that elected officials operate as magistrates. There are times they operate as deciders. When a Board of Commissioners is deciding something for the interests of their constituents, a court cannot force them to do something. But when they are just in a ministerial role doing something they're required to do by the law, the court can force them to do it. Goes all the way back to Marbury versus Madison, the first major Supreme Court case out there, writ of mandamus, compelling a governmental official to do something that they got to do. And in this case, the Board of Commissioners shall seat the Republicans on the Board of Elections. And the Democrats of the Fulton County Commission have said, we're not going to do it. There was another vote last night after the court told them they had no choice. They had to do it. And the Democrats say, you can't make me cast my vote this way. Well, yeah, actually, the law says so. It's not even the judges. It's the explicitly written law. So the Democrats on the Fulton County Board of Commission have decided not only to ignore the explicit language of the law, but to also ignore an explicit court order. And by the way, the order was appealed to the Georgia Court of Appeals, and the Georgia Court of Appeals said, the judge is right. You got no choice. You got to do it. And they refused to do it. Nationally now, it's not even Georgia, it's nationally. Progressives are cheering this on. They are the authoritarians they warned us about, people. They are defying not just the plain text of the law, they're defying a court order that was appealed. They're defying the Court of Appeals. They're refusing to do what the law says they shall do. They have no choice in the matter. They have to do it. They're refusing to do it. And progressives are cheering them on. Stacey Abrams, Group Fair Fight, saying, how can you oppose commissioners trying to, not being compelled to vote in a way that defies the interests of their constituents? This isn't a matter of them voting for something that defies the interests of their constituents. This is an express law. The law says they shall do this. If they don't do this, they're defying the law. I want commissioners, just like I want my president, to honor the law. It's why I have been critical of Donald Trump refusing to shut down TikTok. The law says he's got to shut it down, and he's dragging his feet out. And I've been critical of Trump on that. What's remarkable is that these progressives aren't willing to be critical of any progressive. It's why you have fewer and fewer people on the right willing to criticize Donald Trump for anything, because progressives, they clearly don't care about the law. They don't even care about the courts. As long as it advances progressive interest, they're willing to do it. Who cares about the law? Who cares about the courts? They want Donald Trump to be bound by a court order. They want Donald Trump to be bound by the law. But when the law binds them or a court binds, they're like, oh, we don't care. We're not going to do it. So why should any Republican care about what anything Donald Trump does when the Democrats clearly don't actually care about honoring the law? Why should any Republican try to hold Donald Trump accountable for defying a court when the Democrats refuse to honor a court decision and, in fact, are being cheered on nationally by progressives in every corner of the country for defying a clear court order? If you're not willing to hold your side to the same standards you set for the other side, don't expect the other side to hold themselves to the standards you want. I want everybody to honor the law. That's why I'm willing to criticize Donald Trump. That's why I'm willing to criticize the left. It's just very notable here that progressives try to come up with clever excuses. Last night, had multiple progressives, including one who's the communications guy for Stacey Abrams' group, saying, how can you want the Board of Commissioners to be forced to vote against the interests of their constituents? It's not a want, it's the law. I want the commissioners to follow the law. You want the commissioners to ignore the law. You want the commissioners to ignore the court. Good luck being outraged when Donald Trump does that. And by the way, Trump has it. There's not a court in this country Donald Trump has ignored. There's a law Donald Trump has ignored, divesting TikTok, and I've been critical of him on that. And I've noticed a lot of progressives actually haven't been very critical of Donald Trump on that law. Been critical of Trump because the law is very explicit. But progressives, MSNBC, the New York Times, even the New York Times editorial page, op-ed writers in Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and elsewhere, they've all worried, what if Donald Trump ignores the courts? Are any of them going to hold the Fulton County Board of Commissioners accountable? If you don't like the law, change the law. But the law says they shall do this. And what you're saying on the left is, no, we don't care what the law says, and we don't care what the court says. We're not going to do this. Then you're no better than the people you criticize. If that's the case, I want the law followed.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
220 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Travel advisory into Union City. Crash in two right lanes, 85 southbound past Flat Shoals Road, exit 66. It's stacking up the ride, leaving I-285. So might want to think about using Highway 29 as an alternate. Still got this right lane crash in West Atlanta, 20 eastbound before Lowry Boulevard, and a left lane crash in a cab, 20 west at Panola. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Now at Whole Foods Market, get organic yellow peaches or nectarines for $2.99 per pound with Prime through August 26th. While supplies last, shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB Radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday. Oh my word! Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
begins Monday, August 25th.
Avoid the stress of listing your home on the market and sell your home fast for all cash with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. I've served homeowners like you for nearly 30 years and have helped over 67,000 satisfied clients. And I know what matters most, a quick sale and maximum profit. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
The average baby boomer's 401k, just under $250,000. Gen X, closer to $200,000. How do your retirement savings stack up? No matter your age, the right moves today can completely change your financial future. That's why we created retirement planning at every age. A free guide with smart strategies, key milestones, and steps to stay on track. Download your copy today at yourwealth.com/resources. Let's get your future on the right track starting today.
The summer heat will make that crack in your wall expand. You have foundation problems. Dave Baker here. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions will find and fix your issues with a customized plan. Get your free evaluation at aquaguard.net.
AquaGuard. Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler here at Shane Company. Come on in, feel at home, and let's find your dream engagement ring. I'm proud to work for a company that puts customers first and lets them shop the way they want to. See, we believe shopping for an engagement ring should be fun, without any of the pressure. We don't work on commission, so finding your dream ring is truly on your terms. We'll be right by your side as your friend and jeweler to help you find a ring more beautiful than you imagined and stick to your budget too. We have all of the styles and all of the smiles. You can even watch our in-house jewelers working their magic inside your neighborhood store. It's that kind of care and craftsmanship that makes Shane Company's free lifetime warranty the best in the business, saving you thousands over time and giving you peace of mind. No appointment necessary, or check us out at shaneco.com. Because a friend knows when you're ready, you're ready. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
It's the hardest working part of your home, your garage door. When it fails, you need someone you can trust. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. When the largest and most important opening of your home breaks, don't hire a schmo. Call the local name you know, All Four Seasons. Ask your neighbors. We offer upfront pricing, free estimates on all major brands, and 24/7 service. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for The Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. You can be live on Eric's show by calling 877-97-ERIC. That's 877-973-7425.
Yes, you can, and I'm going to go to David down in Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, and the situation you just described about
I got this right, the Fulton County Board of County Commissioners not wanting to seat Republicans. Is that what you said?
Yep.
And, you know, the law clearly says they have, and it's been reaffirmed by 2 courts. What's the next step? How can they be made to comply with the law? And that's the problem a lot of courts have. You know, people just don't want to play by the rules. And in our governmental system, when it comes to court enforcement, you know, you have to do an extraordinary step or something like the U.S. Marshal in a federal case.
So yeah, okay. So I got to tell you, this is the punchline for the whole thing. I'm glad you asked the question, David. There is in Fulton County something called the Fulton County Jail, and it is notoriously awful. And the court has already said that if the Board of Commissioners members refuse to do what the law requires them to do, they will be held in contempt. And in being held in contempt, they will be locked up in the Fulton County Jail until they have a change of heart and do what the law requires them to do. That's going to be the next step. The Republicans have filed a lawsuit. The judge has told the Board of Commissioners that the way the law works, they have no choice. They have to comply with the law. The law says they shall sit these members. And so there are 2 options. The court can declare that the Republicans are on the Board of Elections by virtue of the appointment, but it technically requires a vote, which is actually a ministerial act, a secretarial act, essentially. It's not a decision for the constituents or not. The law says they got to do it. And if the court doesn't say that, then the court's going to say the board actually has to make the vote. And if these Board of Commissioners refuse to vote, well, they can go sit in the Fulton County Jail until they have a change of heart. And actually, it's probably for the best if they do go spend a few weeks in the Fulton County Jail so they can see just how bad that jail is. Y'all, I believe that the purpose of prison is to punish people. But I also believe that cruel and unusual punishment is something we as a nation prohibit, and the Fulton County Jail is at the point of almost cruel and unusual punishment. It's such an awful facility. So maybe they need to go see what they've been doing, and it'll open their eyes to just the whole problem. It'll also be deeply ironic. Now, Swiss America has been the trusted leader in precious metals for 40 years, and they've been warning people about a secret war on cash for some time. If you're interested in safeguarding your hard-earned cash, you need to listen for this free report. They are rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. They can educate you on protecting your assets in their report, The Secret War on Cash. The report takes less than 15 minutes to read. It can save your retirement and finances. You get a copy of it by going to SwissAmerica.com/Eric, SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Fill out the information. They'll get you the report. It takes less than 15 minutes to read. It's completely free. You can also call or text my name, Eric, 800-289-2646. If you call 800-289-2646, tell the very nice people on the other end of the phone, Eric Erickson sent you, or just text ERICK to 800-289-2646. Follow the link back. Message and data rates may apply.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It's the only way to do any kind of reform of the federal government.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I don't remember it.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
Who are you speaking for?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. It's happening now. Vice President J.D. Vance visiting a refrigeration manufacturer in Peachtree City.
This facility, this manufacturing plant represents what makes America great.
Vance says the products built at the Alta facility help America run.
What the president cares about is building things right here in the United States of America. It's another reason why I'm proud to be at Alta today.
The vice president is appearing with several dignitaries, including candidates running for governor and U.S. Senate in Georgia. Stay with WSB for updates from the traffic team on how the vice president's motorcade will impact your afternoon commute. WSB Radio today gets a first-hand look at the damage at the CDC from this month's shooting. Security Director Jeff Williams says blast-resistant glass prevented a greater tragedy.
Out of the 180 rounds, there was a very small percentage, 5 or 6 rounds, that penetrated into any building.
The CDC's director says they are making every resource available to staff who are dealing with the aftermath of the shooting. A service for the DeKalb County police officer killed in the CDC attack will be held tomorrow. A public memorial for Officer David Rose begins at 11 o'clock at First Baptist Church of Atlanta in Dunwoody. Police give the all clear this afternoon at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga after an active shooter alert was sent out earlier. The school says police did not find any evidence of a threat. It is now 2:32, and this news is sponsored by FGA Roofing.
Hey homeowners, it's Eric Erickson here. Do your windows and doors stick? Are you noticing cracks in the drywall or the brickwork? You might have a big problem. Serious issues need the serious experts at Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Their skills are unmatched, as are their foundation solutions. When these guys repair a problem, it's the last time you'll have to worry about it. Done once, done right. Start today with a free inspection. Go to ESOGrepair.com. That's ESOGrepair.com.
Dial 678 ESOG now.
Get ready, Alpharetta. Taste of Atlanta is back with Grand Tasting Alpharetta Thursday, August 28th at the Hotel at Avalon. Enjoy all-inclusive bites from over 20 of Alpharetta's hottest restaurants. Sip on craft cocktails, wine, beer, and more. And dance the night away with live music and chef demos on the Publix cooking stage. Tickets start at $95 or save $30 when you join the Bite of News. VIPs get in early with swag and exclusive perks. Presented by Taste of Atlanta, benefiting Second Helpings Atlanta. Get your tickets now at tasteofatlanta.com. This event will sell out.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Summer was fun, but now it's time to reset and refresh your home for fall with Zerorez carpet and air duct cleaning. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $139. And we'll throw in a free hallway cleaning. Just mention WSB Radio. That's a whole lot of clean for a great price. Book your appointment today at ZeroResAtlanta.com and mention WSB Radio. That's ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
It's 2:34, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
Travel advisory in Union City, Bill. We got a crash in 2 right lanes. Car off the roadway, 85 southbound past Flat Shoals Road, exit 66. You're stacked up from 285. Use Highway 29. We'll be keeping an eye on that northbound ride out of Peachtree City for Vice President Vance's motorcade later on. 2 crashes in West Atlanta, 120 eastbound before Lowry Boulevard in the right lane. Then you got another one in the right lane just before the downtown connector. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly cloudy, hot and humid this afternoon, high 91. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms with some locally heavy downpours through the evening hours.
And right now we check storm tracker radar, and there are just a few isolated rain showers around the metro area at this hour. Nothing major. 86 in Vinings and Buford. It's 88 in Riverdale. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Culture and faith. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Hello, America. I hope you're doing well. It's Eric Erickson here, 877-973-7425. So, you know what is becoming increasingly the most conservative group in the United States of America? Young men. Young men. It's overwhelming, the data that Republicans are dominating among white Zoomers, they call them. Young white men are registering as Republicans in unprecedented numbers. Gen Z is on track to be the most Republican generation since the Great Depression. And by the way, not just Republican, but also pretty conservative socially. Very, very interesting data. Republicans, by the way, don't be dismissive of attracting young women. There are some people who say, well, the young women actually tend to follow young men, and I think there's actually some data to back that up, but I would try to make inroads with them as best you can. But young men are becoming increasingly conservative. Now, there's a separate story out, and I think the two are actually tied together. Disney is sending out the all call to try to create movies that get young men back to the theater. Young men are increasingly becoming conservative, and they aren't watching Disney movies. Now, I want you to think about this. Disney, overwhelmingly, their movie set as Disney. What does it feature? Damsels in distress, princesses. Young girls love Disney. You want to take your daughter to have breakfast with a princess at Disney World. Your sons like Disney too, but the daughters, they love Disney. So what did Disney do? Disney bought two male-oriented massive franchises for billions of dollars, Marvel and Star Wars. What did Disney do with Marvel and Star Wars? They decided they needed to design stories to bring the women in. With Disney, their next Jedi was a female, and they ruined the legacy of Luke Skywalker. They did a horrible The Last Jedi movie. It is widely regarded as one of the worst in the entire series. It was essentially Rian Johnson, an artsy director who decided to destroy the franchise very subversively, and he did a very good job of ruining the franchise. And it was widely applauded by all the progressives. By the way, my rule of thumb for people who like Star Wars is if you like The Last Jedi, you are so into the Star Wars cult that you have lost objective reality. Like you're not someone who can be reasoned with if you're a Star Wars fan who likes The Last Jedi. It is, by just your standard Star Wars fan, they excoriated, and it ruined The Last Jedi. J.J. Abrams had to come back and try to fix the problems of The Last Jedi, the Rise of the, or Return of the Jedi, whatever the last one was. I can't even remember now. It was essentially just completely iterative. It lacked creativity. So The Force Awakens resurrects the Star Wars franchise. Rey is now, of course, the hero, the female hero. And what is it? Oh, it's a planet-destroying thing that the Empire has built. It was, in other words, Star Wars. Like, they completely repackaged Star Wars. There was nothing new there. It was Kathleen Kennedy just destroyed the franchise. Now, interestingly enough, they put Star Wars fans in part of some of the TV series, like Andor. If you haven't watched Andor is one of the best things that's come out on TV in the last number of years. It's a brilliant TV show, and it's in the Star Wars universe, but there's not Jedis, it's not lightsabers and stuff. And then they did that, what was that god-awful one? Okay, somebody help me out here. It was so bad, it was so woke that literally it's a metaphor for transgenderism and gayness. And when the girl decides she's on the dark side, which actually isn't that bad, it's just misunderstood, her lightsaber literally turned from blue to pink. That's how bad it was. They canceled it. I've repressed it so much. It was so terrible. Acolyte, that's what it was. Acolyte. It was horrible. It was horrible. They allowed this lesbian director to get her lesbian girlfriend to star in a show with a bunch of LGBTQIAA plus to whatever people to be the super diverse, woke Disney garbage, and it got canceled after one season, and I just began to hate watch it. They literally had a scene where a fire started in outer space. In the oxygenless void of outer space. In one scene, a stone cave burned down. The cave apparently identified as being made out of wood and burned down. It was a horrible show. Most of the TV shows were pretty good, though. The Mandalorian, first couple seasons, great. Andor, fantastic. But Disney took a male-oriented enterprise, Star Wars, and decided we got to cater to the wokes, the lesbians, and the girls. And then they also spent billions on Marvel. And the first run through with Marvel was great. You had Iron Man, you had Thor, you had Guardians of the Galaxy, you had Black Panther, you had Spider-Man, you had all the like big Marvel heroes. And it wound up at the end, Robert Downey Jr. and Infinity War, and it was fantastic. They were well done movies. And then after that, they're like, we got to have diversity now. We have to have Captain Marvel and do lesbian subtext. We got to have all the girl superheroes now. We got to have Ironheart, who's got to be the girl Robert Downey Jr., but she's smarter because she's a non-white girl, and they cater to the wokes and diversity. And it was diversity for the sake of diversity. And I want to contrast this with F1 from Apple. F1 is a movie about F1 car racing. F1 has a strong female engineer whose husband leaves her because she wants to be a strong female engineer. It's got diversity where you've got the old white car racer battling it out with a young black kid. It's got all that. And you know what? None of it is in your face. Everything serves a purpose. It's a movie where the plot comes first. And it's a really good movie. And if you have the opportunity to watch F1, you should watch F1. It's a great movie. I thought I'd be bored out of my mind. It's one of the best movies of the year. Because the plot came first. What Disney decided to do with the wokes in charge is they had to put diversity first. So they had this latest Pixar movie. I think Elio is the name of it or something like that. It was explicitly a movie about a little gay boy who is sent to outer space and is thought to be the leader of the world. And it was explicitly the wokes designed this movie to be about the coming out party of a gay kid. And the Disney executives said, nah, this isn't going to work. Nobody's going to want to watch this. And so all the wokes left the project and they revised it to make it less explicitly gay. It bombed at the box office, and all the gays were like, it was a fabulous movie when we were involved, and it was all about the sexuality of a little boy. I'm sorry, but Disney, you broke yourselves. And by the way, Bob Iger, from what I am told, I've got a friend of mine who actually knows him fairly well. And says Iger, when he came back, he knew there was a trouble, that Iger knows how to manage talent very well. And Iger is not the woke that we on the right think he is, that he's got a sense of self-awareness, but he also has to navigate the personalities. And in Hollywood, in reaction to Donald Trump, Hollywood's gotten very woke. And the result is that Disney destroyed two major male-oriented brands and is now trying to throw out creative projects and trying to get people in Hollywood to come up with creative projects to get young men back into the theater. You know, Disney, one thing you could do is actually like not take them for granted and not dumb down your movies. The warning sign for culture is that young men are reacting to a culture that has been at war with them. And by the way, culture has been at war with young men. My son has gravitated towards Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro. There are actually competing voices now. The Free Press has a great interview with my buddy Rod Dreher on how there is an illiberal right that's deeply anti-Semitic, deeply hostile to women, deeply hostile to conservative values, that's trying to indoctrinate young men, and people on the right need to be careful. Who are the voices their sons are listening to online? What are they listening to online? We want young men of character. The problem is that there are those on the right who want young men of no character, and there are those on the left who want the character not of men. They want androgynous boys who use the same toys as the girls, who are, any sort of masculinity is considered toxic. What the management at Disney is waking up to is something that the progressive left is going to have to wake up to. Boys are distinct from girls. There may be equality before the law, but men and women are complementary to each other. I know this goes against what a lot of people are taught these days, and even what some churches have embraced, but men and women have distinct roles to play in life. They are complementary towards each other. They are helpmates to each other. They're not the same. It's not a coincidence that most churches that embrace egalitarianism, where men and women are essentially equal, they all eventually leave Christendom. They don't recognize the distinct roles moms and dads play, husbands and wives play, men and women play. They're distinctive. And I would tell Bob Iger and Disney, if you want to get young men back into the theater, you have to be surreptitiously, subtly complementarian. Boys want spaces for boys. They don't want to be equal. They don't want to be. They don't want to be saved by the damsel in distress. They want to save the damsel in distress. They're willing to be helpmates and partners with women in film, but they don't want to be the butt of the joke. They're tired of being the butt of the joke. I mean, look at commercials these days. Find me a commercial that doesn't have a dad that's the butt of the joke. They're finally tired. The young men in particular are tired of it. And there are a lot of destructive forces out there. You know, I see right now on Twitter, Brad Wilcox, the researcher on family studies, says, did you know this? Men who marry in their mid-20s earn more overall, factoring in education, according to University of Virginia research. People of the same education status, young men who get married, they wind up making more money during their lives. We've devalued men for the sake of men. We've devalued men as a distinctly different group of people than women. We have turned masculinity into something that is toxic. And Disney bought up a bunch of male-oriented programming and decided they needed to cater to the women instead with it. And the men are reacting negatively. They're not showing up at your theaters to watch your movies. They're not doing any of this. I got to tell you, it's timely today, too, because James Dobson has died. Now, if you didn't grow up in the 1980s or 90s, you probably wouldn't understand the impact that James Dobson had on radio to a lot of families, because a lot of families in the 80s, as culture was evolving and progressing, they were looking for some ways, the resources to raise their kids. Adventures in Odyssey and Radio Theater, The Promise Keepers, so much more. James Dobson taught a lot of families how to raise their kids in biblical households and spent a lot of time on how you raise young men to be of good character and of good cheer. He has passed away. We could use more James Dobsons these days. He was vilified for the left for wanting young men of good Christian character. Bob Iger, you want men to come back to theater? You want young men to re-engage with your movies? Stop being ashamed of them. You want young men to come back to your movies? Tell stories that don't apologize for young men being young men, and tell good stories with good plots that aren't there to explicitly make diversity the express goal of the movie. Tell a good story. Young men want good stories. Everybody wants a good story told. And too many of the movies today, including from Disney, especially from Disney, have been all about putting diversity on the screen, not a good plot on the screen. Young men will come back if you tell them good stories that inspire them. Now, let me inspire you to go to Vision Computers. If you're buying a computer, you're building a computer, Vision can build you a great computer. Call them at 404-COMPUTE. Tell them I sent you. You could save some money. 404-COMPUTE. Go to visioncomputers.com. If you want to go to visioncomputers.com, you can see what they offer. If you're building a new PC, a Windows device, they can do it for you. If you need an upgrade, they can upgrade. If you've got managed IT for your office, I bet you're filing email tickets. You might have an AI chatbot that you engage with. With Vision, you actually get a phone number, and you call the phone, and guess what? It's a live human being who answers in less than 15 seconds. So it keeps your business functioning without your employees feeling embarrassed trying to explain something they don't understand in email. How do you explain something you don't even understand in an email? That's what a lot of these managed IT systems do, not Vision. With Vision, you get a live human being who answers the phone. They can save you some money. They can keep you online. 404-COMPUTE. That's what you call 404-COMPUTE. Tell them Eric sent you. They'll save you some money. 404-COMPUTE. Anyone nationwide. You listening out in Sacramento? You listening down in Miami? You listening up in Hartford? 404-COMPUTE. You got a company, you got managed IT, they can save you some money. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. Let Vision partner with you.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
251 Cool Day Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still got the travel advisory in Union City. Crash, 2 right lanes, 85 southbound past Flat Shoals, exit 66. Use Highway 29. Might have that vice presidential motorcade rolling back northbound toward Hartsfield, as I'm seeing delays on 85 north out of Fairburn, where looks like they have the roadway block, as well as the entrance ramp to 85 north and 285 west to 85 north down by the airport. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on your favorite brands at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off Stonyfield Organic Select Yogurts with Prime through August 26th while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When you need to know.
This story is developing in Atlanta.
When you want to know.
Severe weather is on its way.
When you have to know.
We'll alert you as soon as this closure clears.
Get notifications
from your source for news.
Get the WSB Radio app.
Download it from your app store today.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Get ready, Alpharetta. Taste of Atlanta is back with Grand Tasting Alpharetta Thursday, August 28th at the Hotel at Avalon. Enjoy all-inclusive bites from over 20 of Alpharetta's hottest restaurants. Sip on craft cocktails, wine, beer, and more. And dance the night away with live music and chef demos on the Publix cooking stage. Tickets start at $95 or save $30 when you join the Bite of News. VIPs get in early with swag and exclusive perks. Presented by Taste of Atlanta, benefiting Second Helpings Atlanta. Get your tickets now at tasteofatlanta.com. This event will sell out.
Those wire shelves in your closet are just a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Dave Baker for Artisan Custom Closets. At Artisan, we see it all the time. The wire shelves come crashing down. Clothes, shoes, bags are everywhere. It's a disaster zone. Save yourself before this happens to you. With a custom, spacious closet from Artisan, you'll never have to look at that clutter again. Your shoes, bags, clothes, accessories, all neatly organized and designed to stay that way. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-690-6464. That's 800-690-6464. Again, that's 800-690-6464.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Get the podcast, live stream, email, and social media links by texting Eric to 33777 now.
Hello, welcome. I have a very important announcement that I have to make. My longtime friend, who has probably been on this program more than most other people, Chip Roy, the congressman from the state of Texas, has announced he is running for Attorney General in Texas. He would be fantastic. You know, he was the assistant attorney general for a while in Texas, oversaw a lot of the death penalty cases in Texas. Great guy. He's a dear friend of mine. And I want you to know, I tried to get Chip to run for the Senate Because, there's the big battle between John Cornyn and Ken Paxton there. Cornyn's not great. Paxton has all sorts of baggage. His wife just divorced him. They're a weird couple. It's a weird situation. So I really wanted Chip to run for the Senate. He could be like the compromise candidate. The president actually likes him, even though he's been critical of him. Would probably endorse him there, be somebody to consolidate everybody around and run Chip for the Senate. He'd be great in the Senate. And he said, you know what? My kids are getting older, and I'm not home enough right now. If I went to the Senate, I'd be home even less, and I want to be home with the kids. I still want to serve, want to find a place to serve. He loves Texas, native Texas son, so he is going to run for Attorney General of the great state of Texas, and God bless him, has my full support. I hope he will. Any of you nationwide, you want a sharp, brilliant lawyer who is deeply, convictionally Christian and conservative, where he can do great good. Chip Roy in Texas, it is. I rarely say that, like, this is the guy everybody needs to get behind, but he is the guy everybody needs to get behind. He is such a good guy, a great and loyal friend, and a great conservative in the U.S. House of Representatives. He will be missed in the House of Representatives, where he was one of the very few members of the House Freedom Caucus that even the more moderate people were willing to rally around and embrace. The moderates who disagreed with him knew he was a straight shooter and an honest broker, and he kept his promises. He's just the sort of guy that you want. Yeah, all the time you say, we need good people. Here's the good guy. Here's the good guy. We need to elevate him to office in Texas. He's a congressman now. He was Ted Cruz's chief of staff. He worked with Rick Perry. He became an assistant attorney general in Texas. Went to Congress. He's been in Congress now for a number of years, running for attorney general in Texas. God bless the man. I adore him and his family. They're strong prayer warriors. Their son puts my wife on their prayer list at church all the time. We get notes from their church, people praying for her, and he's just a good guy. So Chip Roy for attorney general in Texas. You heard it here first. I'm delighted to support him. I hope you guys will too. And I will be back with you guys for an Open Line Friday tomorrow.
Wild scene at a Covington Walmart after an employee.
More traffic. 85 south out of Brookhaven, crowded beginning past Claremont.
More weather.
The Sunnyside community may have been impacted by this tornado.
Atlanta's Morning News.
Tomorrow morning
This
at
is
5.
a complicated, controversial subject.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta starts its day.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
According to a